And, well, looks
Uh,
like we're going to be getting right into things, actually, as the teams are ready to rumble by the looks of things.
yeah, from the looks of it, I mean, EPG Frozen has the choice if they want to go for a short break or not after the last game, I think. I think they don't need one. They can do it. I believe in them.
I think at this point, you just keep going. You've got so much momentum coming off two very dominant victories. I don't think you want to break if you're the side of EPG. With the amount of strategy they've shown so far in their drafting, I imagine they are ready for what Pepe are going to be wanting to do to them. So I actually quite like this decision to go straight away by them.
We also see this time now for the grand final, the fifth player making it back so that the with a sub. We have Jelvin joining now in Gia, thankfully subbing for them in the first half of the tournament. But now for the big grand final, we have Jelvin coming back in.
Shelvin did say in the Twitch chat that should the team make it to the finals, that he will be coming into play, and that has been followed through on, as he will be coming back in here. So we will see if that changes anything. G, of course, a very good player, but is the team sub, so Shelvin probably a bit more in the know of what they are wanting to do. So we will see what ends up happening there. And we're still looking at a very different drafting style between these two teams from the games they've shown so far. But admittedly, we've not seen too much of Pepe, only 2 games played with them so far, as opposed to the 7 of EPG Frozen.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially now with Battlefield of Eternity coming in, they usually map you want to brawl a lot. I think this kind of fits what EPG Frozen did in the last 2 games with a lot of brawling.
I think both teams are quite looking forward to this one, and in all honesty, I am as well. I do enjoy seeing some of our top teams here in EU just going all out, brawling with each other, trying to test their mettle, see how much they will be able to perform in these high stakes environments. As looks like both our teams are coming in, so we should be getting underway shortly. I do hope that we see some early game fighting, some early game skirmishes, but not too much in any one team's favor, because that would mean they'll be over rather quickly, and we're looking for nice and exciting grand finals here.
Yeah, Battlefield of Eternity is actually one of those maps I really enjoy to see because there are some top tier teams, for example, Washed Up. They somehow have a problem on this map with draft because they never draft any race, which is quite fun. But we will see. I don't think that EPG Frozen and pepeMLADY have this problem as well, so it's going to be interesting because on Battlefield of Eternity, you have to keep in mind to draft a hero, at least one hero to race would be nice always. But then you also have to keep in mind that you have to team fight as well a lot. You're not allowed to focus onto this one thing too much on this map in the draft.
Personally, I'm a fan of the style that teams like Washed Up like to go for, where they look to defend around their immortal and take advantage of the very powerful immortal stuns that you can have. So heroes like Alarak, heroes like Sergeant Hammer, with the displacements, I think are very high value on this map. So we will see what happens. As you said, most teams though like to go for the race, and I believe that both of these teams do as well. So we might not get quite as much of a standoff as we might otherwise have. Which does mean we'll get more fighting though, because one team has to realize that they're not going to win the race, so they are pressured into going in for a brawl with the other, so we should be in
Yeah,
for some very nice matches.
I mean, on the side of EPG Frozen, we see the title defender coming in as they were last season Team Xenon. They just renamed for this season. So yeah, we are going to see if they will make it.
And it
It
has
looks,
been nice to see them coming up through all the brackets, showing that they're not just able to beat one or two teams, that they're able to beat everyone, as they look to make their way back to the top to try and defend their title against Pepe, one of our now former, unfortunately, Division S teams, who are trying to show that Division S teams have something in store for them. as we should be ready to get started soon.
We got the race sign from both teams, so we are jumping straight into this first map of this best. Keep in mind, this grand final is a best of 5 series, so let's jump into the first map of this best of 5 series in the grand final, Battlefield of Eternity, with pepeMLADY having the first pick.
pepeMLADY with the first pick, but they also chose the map, and they, I believe, knew in advance that they were having this bonus coming from the winners bracket, so we'll see if they have anything very special in store for us, knowing that they have both the map they want and the draft order that they were looking for, most likely. Of course, though, you generally do see your very special picks coming out on the red side, fifth ban. Well, I guess we're not playing League, so it would be the second pick, final pick. They often see the fun heroes coming out, but we will see what happens, of course. See if maybe a cheeky Cho'Gall comes out in the 4 and 5 slots, but we're already seeing that the side of Pepe are not wanting EPG to get their fair picks. Trace already banned away. I suspect that Medivh is about to come as well. Cassie will also banned away, just too strong, get out of here.
Yeah, pepeMLADY definitely watched the last games, and they also respect Dino's Tracer, even though he did not bring it out yet today. But it's going to be the first ban there. I guess also, as we said, just a too strong hero right now. What will be the next ban for pepeMLADY? I kind of want to see the Medivh being removed, but on the other side, he's not that great on Battlefield of Eternity.
And Pierce will be banned. One small correction, we did see Tracer played in the first round by EPG on Infernal Shrines against their round 1 opponents, so Dana has shown that he's willing to pick the hero up even in our knockout round. As Urel banned away, which leaves Ada up, and we're seeing something very similar to what we saw last time as far as the draft goes.
And that's a very strong first pick, especially because we know that Gore Rider loves to play his Liming. And it's a very good map for Liming Ana. With the sleep dart, you have the setup for a Liming combo. And you can just one-shot the target. But when we look on the other side, we see EPG Frozen with the next 2 picks picking up the Medivh already, and then the pair also with the Blaze from Dino. So already having the shield to make sure that enemy, if it comes in, is not able to get always the blow up they want.
Madge also likes to play with Junkrat, so the portal's there to help prevent that one as well. And we saw this pain from them before on Volskaya. They take the Medivh with the Blaze. The team can just hop into the bunker and buy some time until the next stupid protection comes up from Medivh. Really obnoxious duo, I would have to say, is Gore Rider. He will play his Liming anyway. He doesn't really care about this Medivh. Going to go for his... I'm going to just go out and say it's probably his favorite hero in the game. And Cesarbos will be playing the Garrosh as well. Not going to be having any Medivh Garrosh shenanigans this game.
In the meantime, betting is set up, so if you think pepeMLADY will be able to win this first map in this best of 5 series, bet A and the number of points you want to bet on them. Or if you think Medivh on Ultralisk is enough to give EPG Frozen the win, bet B and the number of points you want to bet on them.
And the Deathwing ban I find a little bit out of place, especially with this rotation, so it feels like it would have been a little bit out of theme with what was always seen from Pepe, and now you're going for a Vala composition, Shelvin. He's back in the team, and he's ready to carry, going for probably one of the better carries in the game on the Vala. X-Ray got the Deckard, so got the healing to assist them, as the rest of Vala might just be looking to have an absolute field day if things go like we did before. Now, Izunara and Rexar coming out as the last 2 picks. Now, Vanara is a little bit strange here. We see so much sustain on the side of the head team now. You're not really able to go for a burst comp against Medivh, but you don't want to be willing them down too slow either. You want to be forcing the Medivh protection out and then going in for a kill, but instead I feel like we're just going to see an extended fight, and for the start of Pepe, I'm concerned that it's not going to go their way.
Yeah, especially we see on the side of EPG Frozen, we see the Deckard coming in a very strong sustain healer over time. I mean, yeah, we have the Lunara to counter it out. But with the last pick from the side of EPG Frozen, we see Diablo being picked up. When I look on the team of pepeMLADY, I have no idea who wants to kill a Diablo in their team.
Yeah,
Especially
Li Ming
with
can't
the
really
Medivh.
do it, so Nara can't really do it. This Diablo is gonna be so annoying. We'll see how well Cesabos is feeling, where he's got the reactions ready with that unstoppable to stop any portaling Diablo nonsense, but I don't know, I'm feeling pretty scared for the side of Pepe as we are jumping into game number 1 of our grand finals here.
Yeah, we are about to jump in as I am about to hand you over back towards Transparent as he and Kofu will bring you the first map of this best of 5 in the grand finals.
Yes, hello, ladies and gentlemen, sloths of all sizes. This is the grand finals of the Mythic Championships. These two teams have a best of 5 now to see who is the champion of season 12. We do see on the blue team, we see pepeMLADY, we have Radza on the Rexar, we have Dyla on. Sorry, we have Dyla on Anna, we have Nigeria on Li Ming, Cesabos on Garrosh, Gorrider on Lunara. That was pepeMLADY.
And on the side of the red team, we have EPG Frozen coming all the way up from Rosebacker into the grand final. Dino playing Blaze, Wit playing Diablo, X-Ray playing Deckard Cain, Shelvin playing Revala, and Ultrask on the trusty Medivh, which got through another draft, and I'm once again feeling scared for the team that has to play against it.
Yeah,
Now, one thing I do find quite interesting though is Gorrider's not the one playing Li Ming. Naj actually playing that one. Also, another very avid Li Ming fan is Mr. Naj, so we will see what he's able to do with the pick.
Yeah, we do see a very robust composition as well on the side of EPG Frozen. They sort of got this additional sustain with Medivh, but then a beefy front line of Diablo and Blaze. So it's going to be quite hard to sort of find those little weak spots of Najir, and Gorrider will, I'm sure, be trying to chunk down Diablo as much as possible when available.
Yep, well, now just gonna need to get as much chip damage as possible with a poison onto the Diablo, but I'm very happy with this use of the second pick, final pick by EPG. They found a very nice counter pick in the Diablo. Neither of the two dealers, and there are only two because Rexar isn't the dealer, on the side of, actually, Wit may be in a little bit of trouble, but he's got overpower, he's going to get out just fine, but who on the side of Pepe is able to deal with him? He has the Soul Shield, so we're not going to be having any Garrosh burst down, most likely, as we already have the...
Yeah, Dino being harassed here at the top. Gorrider putting a little bit of damage here, but Dino able to survive. No problemo. Both teams have picked up those siege camps respectively, and we'll be looking at the bruiser camps, no doubt, sooner or later. Obviously, Chelvin with the Hungering Arrow build of Valor being able to take these camps incredibly quickly.
Yeah, this is the adaptation you usually see from Val on this map in order to provide some of that race potential that we like to see in our teams. Now, speaking of adapting to the map, I do find this rather unfortunate that we see Power Hungry from Li Ming. During the objective, you're going to get no value from the town. Although it lasts for 20 seconds, which is quite a long time, you are taking extended fights in the middle of the map where no regen globes tend to spawn, so... Would have liked to see Aether Walker or possibly Force Armor as the pick instead, but we do have what we have, so Power Hungry going to be looking to get the wave clear a little bit more, so can spend more time in the middle of the map, not need to worry about the soak, I suppose.
Yeah, and as the level 4s come in as well, we have the Potion of Shielding from Deckard Cain. We've seen a lot of chat about Ruby versus Potion of Shielding in the chat today. But we do see a gank here on Dino with the top Cesabos, maybe looking to try and get a throw, but Dino is deep inside those minions. Ultralisk is putting out protected shields, and they just think it's not going to be worth it. Blaze has got too much HP, and Shelvin is shredding this Immortal at the same time. Obviously, Gorrider has picked up that Nature's Culling on a level 4 for Lunara, so that is where most of their damage is coming from, as well as, the Li Ming Charge Blast. It's a good amount of damage on both sides of here, and most of it's coming up from Valor on the side of EPG Frozen.
It is really 2 dealers to 1 though as far as the race goes, because Medivh doesn't really do a whole lot to the Immortal, as it will be just a race handshaken by the 2 teams, and it actually goes to the wire, but it will go over to EPG in a very unexpected, I would say, twist of fate.
That is an incredibly
Shelwood
close.
just doing so much damage.
Yeah, Shelvin does damage, and we of course have the incinerator gauntlets from Blaze, which just maybe that just little bit helps. You know, every little helps when it comes to racing the Immortal. Big old 4v4 breaking out here on the bottom side of the objective on the map, which may be looking to position, get a stun as well, but no, it's going to be cleaned up nicely here from the side of pepeMLADY. Maybe taking these front towers, but nothing else additionally. Obviously, Rexar coming down here to poke around, just make sure that everyone's alright.
Only 140 shield on the Protector, so not able to find a lot more vulnerable. Now, Sensible, he wanted to throw in Wit, but Wit throws him in first, as now going to disengage with the Soul Shield. Looks like Wit should be just fine, takes an orb on the way out, but doesn't really matter, as now the Hugging Arrow build is fully online for Val. Got the Repeating Arrow going to be resetting those cooldowns to get significantly more burst out of that one. So we're having a 4v4 over the bottom camp, as we'll see what ends up happening here. Wit's already low though before we even started, as Lunara gonna be building down. It will be the first kill going to the garage, so we're now seeing a full-on retreat. Very ambitious, I think, going for a fight when your tank is that low.
Yeah, and obviously the Leeming value was very scary there, so they quickly got out on the portals. But yeah, we're falling low enough to, well, die at the start there. And now they're looking to try and pick up this bottom 4, or at least get some damage on it while there's no real front line. The Wid is now returning, so we'll see how much of the damage they get done here.
And I think this is going to be something we see quite often, though. Which gets thrown away by Staros, as Deca doesn't really have the healing in order to keep Diablo of all heroes nice and healthy, so I'm a little bit surprised that we see a Q build from our Diablo. W would give the sustain needed to take these extended fights that we are looking for from the side of EPG, so perhaps a little bit of a mismatch there in terms of a game plan, but we're now going into the second war phase, and maybe we'll see a repeat of the last one where it goes down to the wire, but it is defensive and more spawn, so we're likely not going to be seeing that one.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and utilize this Q build with the Medivh portals to be able to maybe get a big blow up later on in the game. And we see that Q going straight onto the garage. It's already 50% of his HP going down, and Blaze comes in with another big stun afterwards. He's falling down to maybe 30% of his health. Dino now thrown in as well, but of course the portal from Ultralisk. Ultralisk once again fantastic on this Medivh. Is able to take to the sky. Pretty fly, that guy.
And he strikes again. Very powerful hero, able to find even more nonsense. Now, he is at 23 stacks of mounts as such, so it will be some time before that one gets finished, not having that 5-minute nonsense that we saw with Valskyras. Looks like we're going to have a level 10 attempt by Pepe, and they are definitely closer to it as far as the XP goes. Go ahead and clearing out the bottom lane, getting them to level 10, so they might just be able to push in with this advantage.
EPG Frozen picking up their Bruiser camp just in case of an invade as well early on.
It does nothing though. They've opted to get this Bruiser camp, but that's not helping him reach level 10, and we're seeing the fast play come out from Pepe with the advantage, so I like this decision by Vayne. I'm surprised by what EPG does. The late line seal goes down, but not a whole lot is happening. It's now as aggressive spawns. Thrown in though is the Medivh, and there goes those stacks, as he will be the first one to fall asleep now. Several members going to be put to sleep for a while, but now making the retreat, as this is just going to be, well, I guess it is technically a race attempt, but so easily going over to the side of Pepe.
Yep, EPG Frozen having to just burn as much of the Immortal as possible so they have less shields to deal with in this objective invading phase, I suppose you could call it. It's going up to the top lane, of course, because that is where the most structures currently are, and they're having to clear out this this little Bruiser camp that we did see EPG Frozen pick up.
Does take them long though, and only gets to the walls, so giving up your level 10, giving the other team quite a large time where they can do whatever they want in exchange for a best of wall, I'm going to say. Not sure if that's the best of trades. Is now pushing in the top side is the side of Pepe. Now, Dino reiterating so there will be a potential for E5 here if we have another extension, which, and I was just maybe looking to get in there, but looks like it will just be to clean up for the time being.
Yeah, Dyla poking away with these sleeps, and the portal's coming in, but Cecilboss is always ready to throw someone away, reducing the value that Ultralisk is able to have on these Medivh portals.
Now,
Meanwhile,
Dino did rotate up, so, yep, as you're going to say before I interrupted you, Rozu has been having a little bit of fun here. Dino left the lane unattended, so Misha going to... Oh, there we go. Finishes up the fort. Dino trying to trade back onto Exile is getting pretty low, but doesn't really have the tools for himself. Goes for the bunker, but the Flamethrower not quite doing enough damage for Shell. But here comes Ultralisk, trying to find himself a Misha. Exile is going in now, but finds one cube, goes back in, finds Misha actually, so finds something for his time, but Ridzu will survive for the time being. He's not done yet. It's Ultralisk. He's smelling blood. He's a shark. A flying shark, I suppose you could call him on the Medivh, but won't be able to find the Rexar in the end.
Yeah, not quite able to pick him off. But now back to scouting the enemy team. Gore Rider trying to clear up this bottom bit of pressure that Dino has prepped. And they do have, obviously, a catapult here as well, as they had picked up the fort just earlier.
Do you watch much of a Discovery Channel?
I'm afraid I don't.
That's unfortunate because I was hoping that you would be able to tell me more about flying sharks, because that sounds like something that would be in Shark Week, but for the time being, we have seen the BlizzCon picks up by the side of Pepe. They have that one already taken earlier by EPG, so that's not there for them to pick up. Level 13, just for the time being, going over to the side of Pepe, but it will just be a race of the first objective phase.
Yep, absolutely. And with these heroic abilities now, we sort of had a little bit of a fight just at the end of the 10 phase in the last objective, but I think we may see a little bit more of a tussle and more organized fight, as Ultralisk did go down incredibly quickly last time. X-Ray positioning quite aggressively on the deck again, and he's going to be caught out a little bit. Cecilboss going forward, but Wit is sure enough to be there to be the one that tanks the throw just in case. And Wit now does go in. He pulls and throws over Cecilboss with the stun ultimate as well. We see Ultralisk now going back into the diving onto the Nashir. Nashir is in grave danger. Chelvin does do strafe, and that gets the kill. This is a 1 kill down for EPG Frozen.
And Q-Bill Diablo manages to find the play, goes in, gets the charge, gets the setup with Apocalypse, and they were able to find the Li Ming in the end. Abolish Magic picks up by Lunar, which I'm very glad to see, but wasn't enough to save the day. It's now going once again is the side of EPG. Lunar jumping up, trying to get damage on the Ultralisk, who is running for the hills actually, doesn't have the tools, but here comes Wit with the Shadow Charge, and Dino not quite able to find the kill, but Bullet goes over to EPG, trying to now get out of there. Soul Shield pretty good though, but no, it's again Ultralisk falling on a Medivh, and he's not the only one. X-Ray and Dino in so much trouble. There's so much chase here by the blue team. Li Ming and are both really good, and it would be a triple kill for them, but still gonna have to deal with this Immortal.
Yeah, this Lunara sustained damage is just being so annoying for EPG to deal with. Ultralisk is struggling quite a lot when he's the one sort of backline diving by himself, whereas I think, you know, the Decacane is trying their best to keep them alive, but those little potions are only little. You know, you can only take a small sip from those small flasks. We do obviously have the Ancient Blessings now to help, but Ultralisk is usually far away from Decad.
Yep, well, it is Ancient Blessings, so we're not having any big potions to chug on this game, as I do want to once again draw attention, because I skipped over it before, to the Abolish Magic by the Gore Rider here, and this is something I really like to see picked up. Completely negates what Q-Bill Diablo is looking for, and while it isn't an unstoppable, Abolish Magic is 2 people removing all disabling effects and damage time effects, even though there really aren't any of those, but it also reduces the duration of CC by 50% for the next few seconds, so really nice. Even after level 16 when Diablo gets the second charge, it won't be for particularly long.
Yeah, they'll be looking to negate that Diablo effect later on. Both teams now facing off in the top lane, but we do see Medivh, they're going for the Rexar down in the bot lane here. Dino getting in with a big stun. That's a lot of damage on to Rexar. Are they going to be able to pick up the kill? Dino's pressuring forward. Cesarboss is coming into peel as well. The Feigned Death is there as well. The bunker is blocking the enemy's path. Gore Rider now trying to pick off Blaze as well. Dino has he's got no bunker. He just used it and the peel instead of the engage here from Cesarboss. They do not think they want to try and take a fight with Dino. They don't want to take the 5v5. They've only just picked up level 16. They're thinking we'll just get in a better position for the Immortal phase.
If this is Storm, like, you know someone would have been thinking that enemy team has a talent tier advantage, as they should have. Going to back off is the side of EPG down the very important level 16 talents, but Dino maybe didn't get the memo as he's been called out. He's going to be taunted. Leyland Deal comes down and he does actually get out.
But Ultralisk is also very low.
Well, though, so it's still a falling retreat, so still a big win for the side of Pepe, as they're free to rain down damage onto this Immortal, going to quite easily, I would imagine, bring it to halfway. It's still not 16 yet. Someone's still picking that talent tier advantage, but Wit's going in anyway. Gauch finds his unstoppable bound, so nothing will come of it. That's Apocalypse now on cooldown.
Yeah, they now have level 16, so they do have that domination. They do have the longer portal as well, which might help in some of these situations. And we are going to look for a bit of a defense here coming out of EPG Frozen. They're looking hard. Blaze goes in for the big stun, but there's a big dive on the back on the Ana. Dino is in grave danger while Dino is just sort of looking after himself. Maybe he's got the bunker out just now, but Ana is still managing to live. She's getting away, and Wit is looking for the engage as well. Oh, beautiful play here from pepeMLADY, able to escape there. Wit is now going in once again, and that is a lot of damage onto the Grosh. He goes down to 300 HP, but the active reload keeps him alive. Blaze now goes down as well, jumping over with Lunara. This just seems like a little bit of an additional punish. This slow fight, then just manages to get away, has just benefited Lunara so much in these positions.
And we're seeing once again what happens if you don't get Master's Touch done, as Medivh's going after Ana, but Grandma doesn't care about your arcane rifts at the moment, buddy, because able to walk it out under turret, Sleep even needs to try and find that one, but Ana survives in the end. Another Immortal going over to Pepe, this one going straight down the barrel of the bottom keep of EPG, and Blaze will be up in time to defend it, so this probably isn't the end of the game, but things are not looking good for this keep.
Yeah, it's not the end of the game yet, Coffee, but they have shown prowess to be able to get a kill earlier on in the game, and I think if they are able to get one or two here, they may be able to do something fancy. But Wit is looking for the throw, he's looking for the thing, but there's so much control coming out from Cesarboss here, so much coming out from the repulsion almost from Li Ming as well. We see just them facing off. This keeper's definitely going down, but I think this is a successful defense from EPG Frozen.
Leyline comes out, and there's the Apocalypse. Gauch going to be surviving though. Remember, this is Ana, you have the CC removal. Now getting it onto Misha, will fall in the end, but this Immortal's still pretty healthy. They're ready to go for more. Now getting the burst on Ultras, who just survives the time being, but it's Lunara. Gets the kill in the end. Now does fall as well, but 1-4 at the moment. Nudge going in, smells blood, but this is Gloom on Valor. Not able to quite find the burst, as the Immortal's whacking away at core, but this will not be the end of the game just yet.
They look for a
Now
couple
it's
more
Pepe making a run for it, and Wit's not having any of that. Grabs Gauch, slams him back in. Dino there as well. Even with Ana, this will be a very dead Cesarboss, one has to imagine.
Yeah, it's taking forever though because of that additional armor, and Shavon did not go for that percentage damage, instead going for the more controlling Frost Shot, of course. Dyla keeping Misha alive for a little bit longer, and Misha does in fact live. Now, it looks like they're going for a big aggressive play here on the side of EPG Frozen. Wit is quite low on both mana and health, as well as Shelvin, so we do need to be a bit careful. It's enough, obviously 3 heroes are dead, but you never know what, pepeMLADY might pull out just as a crazy whim when you're going against some teams that already have low mana and low health.
And I find this very surprising, actually, that we do see the first shot. Shelvin is the only real DPS in that moment for the side of EPG. Ultra's still not finishing his quest, so he's not really able to do that much here. So you have a solo DPS and you opt for utility talent. Seems a little bit of a contradiction there. The percentage damage would have been especially nice versus the Gauch, who so tanky low health, just gets the unactive reloads to spend even more time with that high amount of armor. Would have liked to see maybe a little bit more damage coming out, but in the end, we do have the first shot taken as we're ready to go into our 4th objective. But nothing's not looking good for EPG because this is level 20 right around the door for the side of Pepe.
Yeah, it's most likely they're going to have to take a fight down level 20 talents, which will be very oppressive against this Lunara, against this Li Ming. They've got such good level 20 talents that they will be putting out a heck of a lot more damage. Obviously, they're just poking away on the side of pepeMLADY. They do want the level 20. They can find it probably with this top wave, and this gives an opportunity for EPG Frozen to race away the Immortal Health.
Imagine fans will be able to pick up level 20, so it will be the halftime show. Now, in the meantime, we did have halfway down on the Immortal Balsar APG. Maybe they can try and force the race to stall for 20, but no, looks like the side of Pepe having none of that, blocking off any attempt to get to there. And also, I think they have to take this fight down to the Stormtown here, but they're going on to Rexa, goes straight to Feign Defo, so he's going to be just fine. The bear gets stunned by the Immortal, so seeing what we're going to have, the late line deal was big, and there will be Misha falling, but will they be able to get enough afterwards? Strafe wakes everyone up straight away. Gosh, he's surviving! He's surviving! It would be nice to have a little more dash, but no, he will fall in the end. Portal, pretty nice to get the chase down. Wit not done yet, though, goes for Nudge.
Yeah, Nasha being very aggressive there, blinking towards Wit, and Wit was like, oh yeah, I'll happily throw you around, but unable to connect with any of the walls here on Battlefield of Eternity. Now they're looking to portal out, they're looking to get the race back onto this Immortal, try to take their first objective here of the game. This late game, it's going to have to go through at least a fort with very low health, and I think they'll be able to take it. They're not yet level 20, but surely they should be able to get this first Immortal here, or this Immortal at this stage anyway.
Very nicely done by EPG, winning the fight down level 20. They will pick up their second Immortal of the game once again. Well, actually, no, not quite, because this one's going up to the top lane. And they did it without the level 20. Now Vala's Powerfly Quiver. And you're just missing Manticore even more, though, because it's so easy to get these long-ranged, weaved-in auto attacks. So could be doing quite a lot of damage if you're Manticore, but alas, it's not to be. Is now here comes the Immortal, and it is angry. Just gonna actually doesn't even hit the fort with a stun, but takes it down, no problemo. Beleth now moving on to the top keep. We'll see if we're gonna have Medivh shenanigans jumping in, but actually it is Setos starting up the fight. Goes and finds the massive taunt actually, but everyone is surviving. In goes Wit, Bolt of the Storm, going to look for Nudge, but gets away for now. Misha maybe not so lucky, as will be the first on the full. This Immortal's still going. They can maybe look to end the game here.
Yeah, Heroic traded back and forth. We still have the Leyline Seal for Medivh and also the Apocalypse, but Shelvin is going very low. He could be in grave danger right now. Of course, the Gore Rider is chasing down and down. X-Ray is throwing out potions as much as possible, but this level 20 with the additional damage on 3 stacks of Lunara, they're able to portal away. They do get the keep, but they're not able to close out the game at this point in time. This is such a close first game of our grand finals here, Coffee.
And it's excellent to start on. Hopefully we're in for 4 more games quite like this, as now the camp will be picked up, but it's not really going to do much. It's just going to be a bottom camp picked up by EPG, and then trade of the clear most likely, so we're probably going to have to wait for another Immortal. The Equals coming out here, just looking to get to top lane to clear out the siege camp, as trying to find something on the rotation Pepe, but EPG not giving him anything of the sorts.
Yeah, both teams trying to sniff out what the enemy team are doing. Obviously, it's quite obvious they're clearing out camps, but they could be elsewhere. Much easier from the side of EPG Frozen, as they have an untouchable bird in the sky, literally giving them a bird's eye view of the opponent's movements. But we see them now coming in on the bottom lane to maybe pressure a little bit on the core, but Wit is looking to punish Misha a little bit. But Nasha is putting damage on the core. Obviously, it's only at 57% health, and this is, of course, a Nature's Culling Lunara. That does additional damage to structures as well, but the portal comes in. This is looking for the big flank onto the Ana. Dyla's looking to be damaged, but X-Ray with the sleep instead after the throw, the silence on Lunara. Is Lunara going to get blown up? She does not have a spell shield. She has been given the nano boost instead, and she's going to get out. It looks like there's a lot of people asleep on both sides of the team, and no one's going to go down just yet. Wit is perhaps looking for an additional aggressive play. Obviously, all heroics have been popped apart from Hirosh's taunt. But Misha being focused here instead. It's every little helps. Every little helps once again, Coffee.
The bear survived for quite a while. There's no Manticore. There's no damage on the Vala, and Misha survives. The Hunter Cabin coming in huge with the extra 15 armor. And I'm gonna once again point out that this should have been Manticore and Vala. Would have been able to find a Misha kill right there if we had it. As we're now going for the camps. I'm a little bit surprised by this call. The camps don't really matter at this point in the game. Just you need to get the objectives to win the game. Nothing else really matters at this stage, but both teams handshaking themselves, bruiser camp clears as we're in for one more fight. Well, those things now. It is heroic cooldowns in favor of Pepe at the moment, so maybe they can start something up before the Apocalypse comes back, but no, they are gonna handshake by the looks of things. An extended fight, give a fair fight, have Diablo have his heroic ready for it.
Yeah,
Very
both
honorable,
teams,
I would say.
both teams positioning very defensively here. Obviously, the additional poke damage is a little bit better from the side of pepeMLADY with that leaming pressure. And also just Lunara, whenever, just get an auto attack, get a Q in here and there. It will just do a little bit extra damage. But obviously, the portal's trying to be a little bit aggressively here. There's a little minion wave stacking up nicely on pepeMLADY's core. Wit and Dino both looking to try and find the same target, it seems, here at the moment. They're not looking for any great moves outside, but we do see the big stun onto Cesarboss. Garrosh throwing away instead. Wit not able to get that double stun here, but we see the ley line come out. Are we going to see the Apocalypse? Yes, here it comes. Unstoppable still available for Cesarboss, and he is able to walk away right now. The portals comes down. Dyla is so far out. Dyla is all by himself. Is there any chance that he gets out here? I do not think. He's just waddling away, but there's a big sleep. But he goes down. Perhaps waiting for the perfect opportunity to get a 5-man sleep. That is a 1-for-nothing kill, and that's the support on the side of pepeMLADY Coffee.
Dino, I was going to point out the very interesting level 20 choice here to Burn Notice, but able to run down Viana Soho to Oblivion. No chance that Rama's getting out of this one, as we have now the charge onto Leeming. And it seems to have all fallen apart for Pepe, as moving in through the portal are EPG, looking for Misha. And that one will be falling in, actually falling out of sleep, not quite able to find anything, but this will be the Immortal going over to EPG, and you have to think that they're going to be able to win the game with this one, unless Pepe can pull a miracle out of a hat.
Yeah, and this will be quite a punishing loss on the side of pepeMLADY. This was their map pick, and they got first pick from being in the upper bracket, so this is really well done from EPG Frozen here. A really stalwart game, but it is not over yet. They've obviously got this half-shield Immortal. It's going to be running down the bot lane. They're going to have this siege camp as well that Dino has pre-prepped with that Incinerator Gauntlet's talent. It's going to be a big push. Leeming is going to be up in 15 seconds. Could be some Leeming magic here on the core. That is always something that you've got to factor in with the nano boost as well. Anything can happen, Coffee.
This is the potion level 20, so Naj, if he's feeling himself, if he finds the opportunity, he can just take the game into his own hands. Now, it is quite hard though against the Medivh comp to do that, but I've seen crazy things happen as here comes Belef looking to wrap this game up, marching through the gate, no problemo. See what sort of core defense we have, but Misha's the target. Leyline Seal used secured, but the APOC is early. Not quite able to find anything, but Gore Rider, no, will be able to survive for the time being. Ultra taking a little bit of damage, but will survive for the time being as now Belef is really angry, working straight on his keep. That one's going down straight onto the core now is the Immortal. See if Cesarboss can find anything, but side by Viewer, not able to throw anyone in as we're having the defense here. But here comes Wit, bolts in onto Nudge, who will get out for now. You sleep so big onto so many members, stunned up by the Immortal. That will be Garrosh fully. Everyone else getting so low as Medivh. He's been out of the game for so long, but now he's angry, doing so much damage. And that will be the game going over to EPG.
Incredibly well played from them. Really well done. And I pass it back to Summer now.
Back here, played by EPG Frozen there. Even though Medivh did not finish his quest at all, with it 14 stacks at the very end of the game. So that's a really, really big thing for Medivh.
Yep, didn't finish the master touch in the end, but ultimately it didn't matter. The utility provided by Medivh so good. Leyline able to have for engages the Apocalypse to follow up, but not always happening, but it doesn't really matter. As I was talking before about how I like second pick of the draft, and we have an excellent example by EPG of why having the final counter pick matters. Diablo, a dot attack you see particularly often, going to be picked up here, does so much, it's really difficult to kill him. If you have just Li Ming burst to get soul shielded and Lunara damage over time, so really nice drafting by EPG. See what they have in store for us for game number 2.
Yes, now we will have the map bans coming in from both teams, and then we will have pepeMLADY with choice between map pick or first pick. So we will see where we will get next soon. Yeah, just to get back a little bit towards the game again, we see when we take a look at the deaths, we see 0 deaths on Vala, 1 death on Deckard, 1 on Diablo, and only 1 on Rexa, which is really impressive.
As I said, that Diablo so hard to kill in these fights. You have to just survive for so long, can walk out if needed. He's got both Bunker and Medivh Paul to get him out if things are really dire, so for Diablo able to have an absolute field day. Davala, Shelvin comes back in to help his team in the finals and pulls off the carry performance that was needed with Davala in the end. So, what are up are the defending champions coming up from the losers bracket to say, no, we're not having any of this. We are the best team in Heroes Lounge. And now we are, of course, doing the map pick and ban now because, as you mentioned before, this was the first pick before any map bans by the side of pepeMLADY. So we are now going to be having our map pick and bans.
Especially one thing I really enjoy when we look back at the last game, when we look at the draft from EPG Frozen and pepeMLADY. pepeMLADY has mainly spell damage coming in with the Liming and with the Lunera. But on the other side, we see a Diablo with Soul Shield, we see Vala with Gloom on 13, and we also see Blaze picking up the Juggernaut plating on level 16, so getting those 50 spell armor in, making sure they're all getting spell armor in, and opponents have a really tough time to kill anyone of this team.
Yeah, very nice text sections in the talents, Gloom, Juggernaut plating, and Soul Shield, all very nice against this basically entirely magic damage reliant comp that we have here from the side of Pepe. So I hope they realize in the next shuffle, hang on a second, we need to have mixed damage in order to not be so easily countered in talent selection, as we're starting to get through these map bans, and now it will be EPG banning away Towers, Pepe banning away Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy to see Tomb being banned. Some people may know I still don't like the map, and as the second ban from the side of EPG Frozen, keep in mind every team has 2 bans. We see Cursed Hollow being removed.
And there's a pretty clear theme coming out in these bans. EPG trying to get away from the bigger maps, and Pepe trying to get away from the smaller maps, so quite likely that we're going to see a map like Draxus taken away. We've seen that EPG have their strategies in store for a map that not many teams are comfortable playing on. Fits entirely with what we've seen so far from the map bans as well, so I think that's one that we can expect to see.
Next ban coming out from the side of pepeMLADY in a second, hopefully. Let's see what we will go.
As I hope that this is a Braxis ban because, yep, and it will be, because if you give EPG map selection, I can guarantee that's exactly where we're going to be taking you. And you have to deal with some absolutely obnoxious plays that we know they're able to do. So now we are left with 5, relatively speaking, macro maps. I guess the one exception would be Infernal Shrines, but it is a little bit unusual to have a map pool chunked in this much before any selection due to our Game 1 pre-ban map selection.
Looking at those maps, I really think a lot, all of them really include a lot of team fighting as well. So it's not only about macro. When we look at the remaining maps, Ultra Passes, Dragonshire, Shrine, Infernal Shrine, Sky Temple, Volskaya Foundry, they all have some sort of macro. Will it be either Volskaya Foundry with just making sure you get those turrets, and will it be Sky Temple with trying to get the team fight going for getting yourself an advantage, or even a boss fight, for example. For shrines, as you said, the fight around the objective, very necessary. Drangshy, of course, is just the whole map, which consists out of small 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s, and really rarely a 5v5. And of course, also.
And well, we do have a decision here, and it will be EPG taking it to Volskaya. And it's really big that I mean, once again, they've got themselves the second pick here. So, see if they have something else in store for us in the final section of the game once our teams get in.
Right, yeah. I mean, especially one thing I love from Volskaya is I personally feel like it's a good map for Maya. And I really want to see an Ultralisk Maya coming out in this grand final. As I'm kind of expecting Medivh to being removed on these battle maps, or even in general being removed a lot by the side of pepeMLADY.
Yeah, I don't want to see Medivh for the rest of the series. I want to see him banned every game. And you're talking about Maiev. Well, there is one map that we do quite often see Maiev coming out on, but unfortunately for you, that map is Tomb of Spider Queen, which was banned away. So with that, the chances of seeing Maiev drops quite a bit. Possibly see her on Infernal Shrines if we end up going there, but on Volskaya, I think it's quite unlikely because there's so much open space where Maiev isn't really able to find flanks from out of vision with the Spirit of Vengeance, so quite difficult to set up some of the highlight reel plays that you normally want to see from your Maiev. Now, of course, Maiev is one of the few heroes in the game that has alternate play modes, and we saw quite early on today. I was quite happy about it in Twitch chat when it happened. We saw Containment just picked up by EPG Frozen, so they do acknowledge that Maiev is not just a one-mode combo setup montage hero. The hero is also good at just preventing teams that require themselves to fully stack up as 5 from being able to do so.
Yeah. We all know those montages of Maevs just going in 1v5ing or Limings doing the same. Yeah, all those heroes also have an additional component, as you said. Especially in the last game where we saw on Ultralisk on the Maiev, the Containment was a really big pick, because with the cage you would have not done anything in this game due to a signification on the other side. And we are about to jump into this game number 2 of my series. It's going to be Volskaya Foundry are heading there.
Slowing down a little bit because, of course, you have to get Kiwi Coffee into the game from the other side of the world, so it takes a little time for our lobbies to get sorted. But we are now into game number 2 draft, and it is once again pepeMLADY with the first pick. So it's your very well banned away. We saw the Tracer ban last time, but Medivh got through, so I hope that they take a page out of Hype's book and just ban away Tracer Medivh. Yeah, we're starting with Tracer. It's probably a Medivh coming up second as well.
I'm pretty much assuming so. The Cassia ban again from the side of EPG Frozen, just not willing to give it towards the sides of pepeMLADY.
And you can't blame it at all. The hero is so strong, and we do see Medivh. I'm so glad to see him as Ultra. So you're going to have to go on to another hero, buddy. It probably won't be Genji though, because it's Abraxas, so gonna have to dive a little bit deeper into the hero pool, but it's Ultralisk. I'm sure he has something in store for us that'll work quite nicely. Yrel has been another ban that we've seen quite often in the later stages of the bracket here. Just not being allowed to be played. The hero is so stupidly strong. The nerfs in the last patch do kind of help, reducing some of the power of Dauntless and level 1, but the hero is still ridiculous. You should be picking her if you want some free rank points in your solo queue.
In the meantime, pepeMLADY staying with the Ana Esther support is the first pick, and now with the bans focusing more to specific heroes of EPG Frozen, we see a lot of comfort picks coming out with Wit on Dexul and Ultralisk picking up the Imperius, who is a really strong hero right now. He got banned or picked in every game today so far.
And Imperius is seen here now. I'm a little intrigued by both of these. Well, actually, we're getting even more interesting, but we'll get around a little bit. So, with Zul or Sky Foundry, he is quite good at pushing up the sidelines, but before level 10, which means basically for the first objective, he kind of sucks in the team fighting. Doesn't really do much unless you have those scales of mages or Poison Over. Both work just fine. Imperius, we've seen him picked up so early, and I mentioned it in our previous series that he has quite a few counters. He was reliant on channeling the Q for the full duration. So I want to see a hero like Li Ming. Well, actually not Li Ming, we already have Komi, but a hero such as Reina or someone else that offers knockbacks or other interrupts for the Imperious Spear. But we see Blaze banned away. We see Deca Kane taken away by Pepe, which I feel is a little bit out of... I don't think they're going to go for Deca. They need to find some way of solving the Chrome, and they banned away their own Blaze, so it's actually about few new Li Ming's picked up, so they are potentially opening themselves up to some temporal loop shenanigans here on the side of EPG.
Yeah, I mean, I also kind of like the Ming pick because even though it's very uncommon, there could still be a double mage combo coming out from the side of pepeMLADY with Chromie looping someone, getting some nice damage onto them, and then Li Ming with the nano boost just making sure they secure the kill and then keeps on going with the resets, for example.
Well, you don't have a standard main tank on the side of EPG, so Double Mage doesn't have the weakness that it usually does, but it is going to be Grey Main and Deathwing picks up instead. The Deathwing I do like as one of these solutions to Imperius. He's unstoppable, you can't go onto him as the target if you're Imperius, and he has both the Earth Shatter and the Belling level 10 to create some space, protect the backline, let Chromie do what Chromie does best, and Hanzo will be the final pick here. Now, there is quite a few disengaged tools if you are the side of Pepe. You have, of course, Deathwing Bellinger, as mentioned before. Garrosh can throw people away. After 13, Arlen can cleanse for stuns, so the Hanzo gauge not as strong as one might normally expect, but still should be just fine.
I mean, Hanzo being picked up is quite an old pick, as you don't see Hanzo so often these days anymore. But he definitely fits into this team, making sure they have enough damage and enough poke to give Garrosh and Deathwing a really rough time in the game. You always never allowed to forget that on this other side, on the side of pepeMLADY, we have the Greyman and Garrosh combo. So if you just throw in Imperial Soul, you can easily blow them up, especially with the help of Chromie and the anti-healing grenade from Ana.
And there is quite a lot of blow up here, possibly from the side of the blue team, and there is no Medivh time to stop it, so see if they're able to find the picks that they are looking for as we are now getting into game number 2.
Yes, towards Transparent.
Hello and welcome to game number 2 here of the Mythic Championship Grand Finals for Season 12 of Heroes Lounge. We have two fantastic teams here on the blue team. We have Nashir playing Chromie, Cesabos on Garrosh, Rudza on Deathwing, Dyla on Ana, and Greymane being played by Gore Rider.
On the red team, we have EPG Frozen, the defending champions, 1-0 up at the moment. It is X-Ray playing the Malfurion, Ultrask playing Imperius, Wit on the Zul, Chelvin playing Li Ming, and Dino playing Hanzo, and already going to bring up one talent here. We see Targa Praxis picked up by Zul going for the Q build. Now, I would have liked to... I do understand why we see Q builds, trying to get some safety from the Garrosh, but if you went to play, this is absolutely the time to go for Redemption Hanzo. It's quite easy to stack up against the Deathwing in particular. Hang on, we have an Ultralis going in for the Spear, going to be going on Cesabos, who survives for a while, but will be first bird. Dino trying to find Nudge as well, but as I was saying before, we have a level 1 fight. For Redemption, you can stack it quite easily off these heroes, and after level 7, it really starts kicking in. The armor reduction on your autos and your Stormbow shots makes Deathwing deceptively squishy, actually, for the big old dragon. When he loses his armor, he loses so much of that survivability, and it's same goes for Garrosh as well. these heroes that have high amount of armor, when they lose armor, it is disproportionately as powerful. So we'd have liked to have potentially seen that one, but I don't know.
Okie doke, and we do see obviously EPG Frozen picking up their fortification camp, sort of the first, and Gore Rider on the Grey Mane now picking up their fortification camp. So as we see a small fight breaking out, possibly in the middle, they're both going to look towards this support camp. So we do see the body check coming out on the Garrosh, was a little bit, something we don't usually see, but we see a big gang coming down here at the bottom. Dino trying to get his Q stacks on the Deathwing in the off lane. As the red team now all rotate as 5 to the top. I feel like it's whoever acts first with these two compositions. Ultraliskers want to get these big spears, and Cesarboss is using all of his abilities to be able to peel as much as possible.
Now, Ghoul Rider has found Ultralisk jumping in with a Worgen form, but Molten Armor, pretty good ability, will be trading back with Imperius. As one other talent worth noticing is that we have body check from the Garrosh. Now, why he's trying to reduce the healing, I'm not entirely sure, but it is still a very reliable source of slow for the Garrosh. You're not having to hit them in the sweet spot of the Groundbreaker, so most likely taking it just to set up for the Chromie, because there's not exactly that much burst healing coming out from EPG.
Yes, and we do see obviously EPG now rotating around. They're picking up their siege camp as well in a little bit later on.
And we do see the early play onto support camp. Cecil's taking quite a bit of damage from Chelvin as for Triumvirate, so gonna get some resets, but definitely asserting himself as a giant body that you cannot walk through. So that will be the support camp going over to the side of Pepe. Big win for them, as they've also been the only team to pick up their assault troopers. So ahead on both the macro and the micro so far. Dino trying to do something, but he's standing on a time trap, and Nudge is not having any of this.
Yeah, Dino just escaping now with that expert agility that Hanzo has. They'll be clearing out the top. Both teams looking to try and get level 7 with this first objective. Successor boss still mounted while Wit cast the skeletal prison on them. A lot of damage being poked out. Chelvin going to look to try and poke down Cesar Boss as much as possible so that Ultralisk can get a big spear and they can blow that person up. But Ultralisk is good stunned. He's going to be slept as well. Cesar Boss looking for the throw, and that's going to be first, well, not first blood, but the first kill on this objective phase here against Ultralisk.
That it is, and with Imperius falling, it is just going to be going for the defensive plays. Going to see them pick up their turret camp once again. Wit in the bottom lane. Now pushing the top lane, going to crash that way, so Gulad is stuck here for a little bit, heads to the camp. Now it is for Dragon Hungers from Hunter at level 7 going for the stacking spell power, and while I'm normally a very big fan of this talent, as I mentioned before, you get so much value from the armor reduction against Garrosh and Deathwing. Speaking of Garrosh, going to throw in Wit who gets temporal looped, but turns out Garrosh is not quite tanky enough to take on everyone, as he will fall, not even dropping the healing camp before he dies, so enormous win for EPG.
Yeah, absolutely. They do now have their level 7s, which gives them both Calamity on Leeming and that Flash of Anger that I think almost every caster has been talking about for the past 2 weeks. It's such an incredible talent on this Imperius. So much damage added to it, and a little bit of sustainability, which is why he's able to be played in this main tank role. Red team trying to get a kill here on Gore Rider, and Gore Rider does just not quite drop the turret, and Witch is able to steal it as well, as Nashir drops their turret to be able to pick it up. What a win here for EPG Frozen.
Everything's going wrong now for Pepe. Drop the turret to try and deny the pickup, does Nudge, but X-Ray steals away anyway, going to drop it right now. And as I mentioned, Flash of Anger is such a strong talent, but you only get value from it. I'll just hold my forces. We have a little bit of a team fight going on here as Dino is seeing those Qs. He's stacking up the spell power. Just running a Deathwing, not that scary as the Dragon going to fly out for safety as Protector will go the way of the side of EPG. Now, as I was like, Flash of Anger, let's look at what it does. It requires you to throw down all the Qs. You get your Q cooldown reduction by holding them up for the entire duration, which means that interrupts will be very nice. So a little bit confusing to see the Grey Mane picked up by the side of Pepe. Rainer was open. He has a CC interrupt. He's a ranged auto attacker, and he's able to prevent Imperius from having a free reign here. But Instead, Greymane Chosen has the higher burst damage, but Imperius just able to do so much when uncontested, able to get the impaling light value.
Well, of course, they do have the Chromie with the Temporal Loop, so they may be looking for something, but that's a big Dragon's Arrow coming onto the Chromie, and Chromie is taking a huge amount of damage from the Protector. She gets away with 200 HP here. Boss now taking the brunt of the damage and does go down to... has the 49 armor, which means that, you know, on the last 5% or whatever of their health points...
Last 2% of the health
2%.
points if you're on the 49 armors. Now, Go Rider, lucky for Dino, doesn't have Heroic available, though the Cursed Bullet was used, so not able to get some go for the throat kills or anything like that. As now Ultrask, he wants himself another healing camp, but you've already got one, you don't need to be so greedy. But a big win for the side of EPG, able to get that well down before the second objective.
Yeah, EPG Frozen definitely in control of the game right now, but pepeMLADY not far behind. They do have all of their heroic abilities right now, so they're going to look for these temporal loop kills perhaps, because X-Ray cannot cleanse them as a Malfurion. That's something really essential that they might try to look at as well, with following up Curse Bullet and of course Warlord's Challenge from Garrosh. But we do see a little bit of an attack on the top lane. No, Ultralisk unable to get the spear on Gore Rider here, and he's going to walk away with his little doggy tail between his legs.
And we'll get out just fine. Now it is a half level lead roughly for the side of EPG, see if they're able to take advantage of that very short power spike that they will have at some point. As Wit now making his way into mid lane, going to be picking up the middle wave. See if Shelvin is going to be going for the top lane, because they should be able to get level 13 of these clears if they get bottom lane, but
Yep,
looks like we're going on for a little bit longer. It's important to know the timing though, because if Witz comes down to the bottom lane, he's not in position to contest the support camp when they ding the level 13.
It looks like he is going to be able to rotate quickly. No, he's looking to push this, but the bottom lane, the Deathwing at the bottom now having to clear it up, and Wit is going to pause it. No, he's so indecisive of rotating up, baiting me into what I was trying to predict to him. Obviously, we have X-Ray waiting on the siege camp. They're in position so much, EPG Frozen. They're being patient. They know they want to be patient, and they're just thinking, we're ahead. We've got this camp still available. We can do something around the next objective, I'm sure. But before that, we have the support camp now being pressured from pepeMLADY.
EPG, they could have maybe looked at taking this with their advantage, but now it is going over to the side of Pepe. Cesaro can pick that up very nice unstoppable to prevent Ultras from getting a spear off. That's one other way of preventing it. If you're unstoppable, then he can't lift you up anyway, so
Yep,
that works quite well if you're Garrosh.
It seems like EPG Frozen, they already had a healing camp, so they valued maybe the pressure on the bot lane with the Zul a little bit higher. That does mean that they've got the front wall and the healing fountain as well, which will be a great advantage going into this later objective, the third one, which will most likely happen in this game.
And, well, it would be quite impressive if they managed to end with a second Triglove Protector, but we are now moving on. The level lead has, for the most part, been cleared out. We're not going to get the bottom lane, going to get a little bit more XP, but I'm not expecting us to have any sort of Talon Spike windows for either team here, so we're going to have a fight on even terms, so we will see if the Deathwing, now with his Spelling Wheel, is able to get the peel that his team so desperately needs.
But we do see Whip being focused here in the middle lane. He does get feared by the Deathwing. Gore Rider goes in with a Cursed Bullet, but there's a big Dragon's Arrow. Gore Rider able to dodge it, but Whip, because of Gore Rider having to dodge the Dragon's Arrow, means that Whip gets away, able to tap the well. Boss has gone in with Engage, has gone in with the Warlord's Challenge, and Malfurion does go down. Able to drop the healing camp early? No, I don't think he has, but Boss is all going low. Shelvin able to get the reset as well. Li Ming goes down to some damage from the Chromie, shelling out. Oh, the Chromie's also falling low. Wit still staying in, obviously being able to sustain with those sweeping strikes, but he is going low. The time stop able to keep two people alive, but it sets up Ultralisk for the double spear. They both go down. Deathwing on 500 HP, waddling away like the little dragon he is. Oh, Wit now.
You cannot let Imperius get away with this. We've seen so many times today. Every single Q lasts the full duration. There's no interrupts. There's so much damage, so much cooldown reduction. Ultra's having an absolute field day. There's no reason that this was supposed to be able to happen. Sure, you have Greymane. Sure, you're not letting them take Cursed Bullet, but guess what? I'd rather have a kind of weak Deathwing than let Imperius have complete free reign like this. Now, Ultra's is standing on top of True Glove, so I'm imagining this will very easily go over to them, a full double lead, 16 talent tier for EPG, as they will pick up this Triglav, and they will, after tapping the well, go and presumably kill out the rest of his forts.
Yep, so obviously the mid four is already incredibly low. They're going to clean up this top wave incredibly easy with Triglav's ability. Are they going to look for this top four? I'm not quite sure. Looks like they are. Mid one taken out. Zul going to be pressuring at the bottom. Wit on this Zul, playing this Zul all day today it seems. And now pushing down. So that's going to be a 3-fort play. Absolutely right, Coffee.
And just trying to stall things out at the moment, are EPG going to extend the time this Triglav is active, which means that Wit will get more time 1v1 of Deathwing, drops the scales on mages, but doesn't really get anything from it, does Wit, so...
Yeah, they
Some
still
interested
have...
in why that one happened, but they have half a trigger of Protect and Archer down to the bottom, so they should still be able to get their 3 forts.
We're looking for an aggressive flanking position. Deathwing is going to scout it out. Obviously, we're perhaps looking for the Bone Prism with Shelvin follow-up there. But I think they're going to be able to get this bottom fort as well. They can play quite aggressively. Obviously, there is a Malfurion inside that Protector, but instantly cleaned up. Very nicely done. Oh, but Cesabos may be looking for the engage here. Obviously, Malfurion is in the Protector, so there's no Qs available, but instantly blown up Cesabos, and now the red team are going to look to punish this. No tank means no peel. Can they get this CC chain going? Can they get the Ultralisk spears from Imperius? They're going to just pressure with Wit instead. They're taking up all the camps. Lots of stuff happening here. Oh, Ultralisk able to get away.
And there will be another pick actually going the way of EPG. Now, Malfurion, there's one interesting thing that if you get a hit on this map, he is very good to put inside a Protector. Because he can pop out every few seconds in order to drop a Rejuvenate onto one of your teammates. It's going to get ticking while he's in the Triglav, so he can just jump out, pop a heal, jump back in, lose almost no damage from the Triglav, and still be able to keep his team nice and topped up. So we didn't have it happen. There's one thing that Malfurion is able to do. We might see it if they get themselves the third objective here with EPG, but they are very well set to get that third objective. 2-level lead now for them, as well as 3 forts.
Yep, there is a silver lining perhaps for pepeMLADY, but there is a Garrosh stun here on Wit. Instead, Wit drops the turret. He feels like he's in danger. He's being slept. Oh, Deathwing is melting him with his Dragon's Breath, and I think that's going to be Wit going down. But no, X-Ray able to keep him up with a quick Q and a W. The time loop on the Ultralisk, and Shelvin's able to pick up a kill on Greymane instead. But Nashir also falling low on the Chromie, as well as Cesabos going down in the other corner. Chromie's timeout just prolongs the death eventually. And Dyla perhaps also going down here. Shelvin picking that up. That's a 5-man team wipe on the side of EPG Frozen. They are showing to be a formidable force today, Coffee.
And everything, as you said, is coming up the way of EPG. When you're on both sides of a fight, up so much in terms of raw stats from the levels, just able to assert their dominance wherever they want. They have everything they need in order to do so. Now, moving their way onto the core, it's 10 seconds before anyone respawns, and you have your Li Ming, you have your Hanzo, you're able to burn the cooldown. Easy peasy. Here comes Deathwing, but let's see if he gets an ability off in time. I guess he is able to do something. Actually go for the belly roll, gets all 5 of them, but I'm not convinced it really matters as the core's still so low. Also escaping on Survive, as that will be game 2 going over to EPG.
Yep, they go 2 up in this Mythic Championship Grand Final. Back to
EPG Frozen looking pretty damn scary today. Going up now 2-0. This means if they win the next map, they will be able to crown themselves the Mythic Champion of Season 12.
They would indeed. It would be them, of course, having defended their already existing crown of the Mythic Championship. Of course, playing under the name Xenon in Season 11, but it is basically the same team, so they will be looking to get that one. And once again, Pepe are back to the drawing board. This time, they ban Medivh instead of Imperius, and Ultros just goes and shows off on Imperius anyway, like he doesn't really care that his favorite hero got banned. So, what are we going to see from Pepe? They've been... The priority so far has just been on first picking for Ana, but that doesn't seem to be working out too well for them at the moment.
You definitely have to change something up, because in this game it felt like Ultralisk on the Imperius was just able to carry the game mostly. Whereas in the last game, he was able to carry on the Medivh. Is it maybe maybe able to ban out Ultralisk and try to get him on an off comfort hero where he maybe is not able to carry his team that way was able with Imperius and Medivh now.
I think it will be quite hard to completely ban out Ultralisk. Someone who plays exotic heroes like he does, I'm sure has quite a nice pool that he can draw from, but I do think you need to get him onto something a little bit more orthodox and, well, fair as well, I suppose would be the way of putting it, because he's been able to do so much work in these games, able to do so much for his team, and I want to see if Pepe have managed to find themselves a solution. Now we are going into the third game, and they are going for the first pick again, and I suspect it. Well, I hope they have something in mind, because I'm a little bit concerned that now that we're going to Sky Temple, as chosen by EPG, this is a map again where we can do so much with the last pick, so I think we might just be seeing a similar game again, unless we're going to see some change from Pepe.
I mean, by the way, in the meantime, in the chat that like I went, or I might need help. Oh, guess we win. Yeah, I mean, one thing definitely you maybe have to keep in mind. I'm not 100% sure if pepeMLADY knows this, but Ultralisk plays a lot or plays Samuro, so this might be a pick for this map, which he could pick up to annoy his opponents.
Yeah. Samura, definitely one of his favorite picks, as if he needed more obnoxious picks that he can look towards. And Sky Temple is a map where, in particular, if you pair it with Abathur, that you can do so much on the split push. Sky Temple, one of my favorite maps, because there are so many different play styles that you can look to go for. One of them is, for better or worse, the Rodent split push with heroes such as Samuro or Gazo or Asmodan, and Ultras is willing to play it, which adds even more problems to the side of Pepe. What do we get rid of from this guy?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a tough one to predict what is coming in now, but I don't know. It's just really, really like EPG Frozen gets so many comfort picks all the time, especially also with his Clue. Very comfortable in him. X-Ray, of course, a very strong and versatile support player. Also does not matter if he gets Mofuror and deckhead whatsoever. So it's a really pepeMLADY has to change things up, and it's going to be really tough for them to get something changed up, which will make them win the game.
And it's even harder to do so as well, because you have all of these strategies, but you're not able to respond to them if you are Pepe, because they have the last pick. So I remain unconvinced, I'll say, about the choice of first pick here from them. Once again, I think if they should choose what might be their final stand here, that I think that would have gone a little bit better for them. But here we are on Sky Temple, everyone is in the lobby, so once we connect over to New Zealand, I reckon we'll be ready to get started.
Oh, alright, Sky Temple. I personally really like Sky Temple because there's so many so many things you can do. For example, I personally still think that Sky Temple is one of the best, if not even the best, map for the hacker to maybe make
Of
an
course
appearance.
you care about the Haka. Why wouldn't you manage to bring up the Haka for one time he will get mentioned in these playoffs, I suppose?
No, I'm just an hacker, main. It's like an illness.
Oh, well, you get so mentioned at one time. And as you mentioned, yes, there are so many different ways you can play Sky Temple, and offers a lot of strategies, and it's really nice to see teams that are nice and creative and are willing to take advantage of the options available. Completely unrelated, just decided to remove Sky Temple from their map pool this season. Can't say I'm particularly pleased by that, but that's not particularly relevant to here, I suppose. As now we are into game number 3, possibly the last one here as once again, it is Pepe with the first pick.
Yeah, pepeMLADY first pick for the third time in this series. What
And
will it
it's
be?
so difficult, 'cause, like, what do you ban? You probably want to ban Tracer, you probably want to ban Medivh. If you don't ban it, then they're probably taking Abathur. There's also just all the general good picks.
There's so many picks you want to ban. You cannot really ban all of them. Like, even if you leave the Abathur open and pick it yourself, there's still Wit on the other side who could play the Vikings to counter you.
It feels like we might just be in a bit of a draft checkmate that EPG have been able to demonstrate quite a few times now, and so many of their games they've showed all day, honestly, that they've had the tools that they need to answer whatever their opponents are bringing. Now, Zul's actually the ban, so Ultralisk, he's got to get some fun picks. We'll see what happens to Imperius, but Yrel was once again the ban. This has been pretty consistent. Cassia and Yrel are not allowed to be played by Pepe, and now you have one pick as Pepe to try and find the thing that Ultras wants to play, but he's probably fine playing whatever, so there's no real winning you have to imagine if you are Pepe at the moment.
I mean,
Now, there are so many options, but
they stick with Diana for now. She's a very strong support, but I'm kind of expecting EPG Frozen just opting into the Medivh again, making sure you have the portal on top of Anna and being able to punish her for.
You can pick anything. In fact, why don't we just take both of Ultralisk's favorite picks? Wit's also a bit of an Imperius player, as you may know, so yeah, we're just going to go for both of them, and this is already looking like a bit of a deja vu, let's say. I feel like we've seen where this one's going already, but do the side of Pepe have something in mind? They surely knew that this was coming when they banned Trace and Zul, so Savas and Tastar as the damage dealers, and I'm a little bit scared. You've again drafted 2 damage dealers. They have no reliable source of interrupts for Imperius. I'm not counting the Savannah's out because that's a heroic and you don't have that for the early point of the game. And I think you're ending up in the same position once again.
I would really love to see pepeMLADY picking up an ETC now, just to make sure you have those knockbacks and at least any sort of interrupting Imperius.
You need to have something, like, at the moment, the only base ability that can stop Imperius from channeling the Q and getting the cooldown reduction is Ana with the Sleep Dart, and well, you gotta be careful when you throw those Sleep Darts around, because you're gonna need them to run away from Medivh and friends, as we see once again the return of Karajim as Falstad is now picked up by Shelvin.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting pickup because usually I don't want to pair Falstad with Medivh because then you miss the usual range damage dealer who is able to dish out a lot of damage. But now with the pairing of Karasim and Imperius into there as well, you have a healer and a tank or offlaner who deals a ton of damage himself. This might even be. So this is a really good pickup from the side of Falstad, so you have something to discounter any form of split soak. And you also kind of make up for the missing macro Imperius has.
And it is luckily ETC, so we do have some answer to the Imperius, but you do have to wonder what's going to happen when it is ETC that's the one that lifts it up, as Blaze is picked up by Raizu. Probably just taking that one from Dino, as I can't imagine you're particularly happy playing Blaze against when you see a Falstad, and Dino, he's now the one to show up with the fancy picks. He's got possibly one game left, so got to bring out the Zeratul at some point. I think we already know what he's going for. It's going to be the resets. Single target blow up. This guy does not know avoid prisoners.
Out of narrative. Right, yeah, I mean, Dino with the last pick on Zeratul really showing off also his own signature hero coming in here. Ultralisk on the Medivh and Wit on Imperius, so this looking really scary from the side of EPG Frozen. I mean, pepeMLADY, they have some tools with the ETC in this game, being able to interrupt Imperius a little bit. Blaze ETC also very strong in terms of CC, so able, if they manage to lock down the Zero tool, he can be really punished well, especially with Anna Sleep Dot and the anti-healing grenade coming in.
Thank you. Like, I don't want to be too much of a party pooper, but I feel like this is going to be once again Imperius showing just how nice of a hero he is when left to do whatever he wants. But we are now into Game 3, potentially our final match of the Mythic Championship.
And I'm Baron again.
Yep, hello. Game 3, match point here for EPG Frozen. They have the ability to close out this series and take home the Mythic Championship trophy. We do have on the blue team pepeMLADY, though. We have Nashir on Tassadar, Sesabos on ETC, Dyla on Anna, Goride on Sylvanas, and Rudza on Blaze.
And on the right side, we have Team EPG Frozen looking to try and get a 3-0 and claim themselves once again the title of Mythic Championship winner. It is Ultros playing Medivh, Wits playing Imperius, Shelvan playing Falstad, X-Ray playing Kalajim, and Dynao on the Zeratul. And we're getting spicy.
We're seeing an early tower pickup here on the bottom side of the map here with the Sylvanas as well, with Radzua on being able to scout out the flank coming in from the red team. Yep, they've only managed to get one tower, but that's just enough to get a little bit of an XP advantage. And of course, that important structural advantage you have on Sky Temple. It looks like they're just going to keep pushing here.
You have Sylvanas, you might as well take advantage of the trait. It's just seeing that when to be used, as in the meantime we had Zeratul and Kalazim try punching a tower. It did work and they managed to get it in the end, but push advantage currently going over to Pepe, but we'll see what ends up happening because now it is the side of EPG who are moving first onto the camp. We're probably not going to be able to see any more Sylvanas shenanigans unless they want to move it up into top lane, but Dino has the vision, but
I imagine they're going to try and focus down this bottom fort as much as possible with this Sylvanas. You know, they've already lost the top structures, which means they aren't looking to prioritize perhaps that top temple. Although they are going over now to the Bruiser camp, so they may still be planning to do something like this. It's always one of those things where the early game you can sort of maybe get a top fort here and there, but that late game, getting those bottom forts is far more essential due to those boss play potential plays.
Now, we do see Sylvanas here getting the camp, use the blackout as it will be back up for the push. Now, this is a good timing on the camp by the side of EPG. You want the defensive positioning in front of the turrets. Talked about this quite a bit, and that's what we have here. So, very nicely done by them. They're going to be able to hold this a bit easier than they probably should have, as Santos made her way back down to bottom and ready to start pushing once again, as he said.
Yep, they are looking to try and pick up this fort earlier, or at least get a great deal of damage on. Obviously, the side of the wave clear is very poor in the early game. Medivh has got nothing. You know, Falstad waiting for level 7, and Wit on the Imperius. You know, that's not Zul, that's Imperius. He can't do wave clears right now, so they're just going to have to try and brawl this out and try and pressure Gorrider away by taking out his HP. But we do see a sleep coming down to the Falstad, the stun as well on Sesabos. This means that the fort's going to start focusing Tassadar, who was the first to do damage as well. And Tassadar does go down with a beautiful flank from X-Ray here, punching away at Karazim. And the sleep goes down onto Ultradisc, and that, oh no, Wit goes in with a big spear as well. Yep, once again, these kills are going to be essential. Nice rotation here from EPG Frozen.
And it's already so good for them. They're up a full level already. As I was talking about, the camp was in a great position for Dynao to get out, and he got some push done, so he got himself a wall in the meantime, just winning all over the map on the side of EPG. Now, there is quite a bit of damage onto the fort, but you gotta get onto those temple swords to take advantage of it. And now we are seeing Gorrider now moving onto the middle one as Dyna's taking damage, but he's got friends, as here comes Wit going to get the spear. Nice and easy, Raizu will be falling. And it will be level 7 now for our red team.
And the beautiful thing about Karazim on this map is that Karazim is able to pick up these temples solo. You know, that extra damage is enough to take care of the monsters that spawn in there. And I imagine we'll see this top fort, which means that perhaps there'll be a rotation down to the bot fort to try and equalise. But Gorrider's looking like he's going to go down as well. Beautiful play here by Dino. What a menace he is on that Zeratul.
And not even level 10 yet, so no, not even using his full power like a true anime hero. As now is the bomb temple going to be finished by the side of EPG, X-Ray punching away up on the top one, so much of a structural advantage for the side of EPG. They've already gotten themselves 1 fort, and I get the feeling they're not slowing down anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. And the thing is, by focusing this bottom fort, you're sort of saying that you want to do a boss play. But on the side of EPG, they've got the ley line seal, they've got the gust, they've got so much boss control. All there is on the other side is mosh pit. So they really need to watch out later on in the game if that is their plan.
It's so unrealistic to think if you're the side of Pepe that you're going to be able to take a boss fight if everyone's still up. So they have to win a team fight first. Now, how we're going to do that is quite interesting, but this is one way. We're taking a lot of damage, but even without them, indeed, protection, the portals are not to get to safety.
Yeah,
and Dino's having fun. He's crashing top lane. There's minions being lost. They're getting further and further behind in XP because of this. Roadzu now arrived to defend.
Yeah.
Dino trying to get himself a well, but you're not ranged, buddy. This isn't something that you can do.
Yeah, EPG Frozen now just sort of positioning so they could potentially have a 5v4. Blazers in that top lane. Dino obviously escaping a little bit after doing a bit of poke to Gorrider, but the spear comes out in a sheer, obviously going down a little bit of spend. This is just weird damage there. That is a 50% Tassadar, and Dino goes on with a little bit of a finish, as well as the flash of anger coming out. 7-sided strike, as well as they've now hit level 10. Boss looking very low. Dino
damage.
Also takes damage as well. That's a double kill on the return. You know, the overextension slightly into the fort here and beautifully punished by pepeMLADY. They have some sustain damage and they have some sustainabilities. You know, Anno is not a bad healer at all. So well played from pepeMLADY here.
Trying to show off with EPG, but get the door slammed on them by Pepe, who say, no, we are not done yet. Have enough of your shenanigans. We are going to fight back and show that we are also a top tier team. Which they are. They made it to a grand final here. So the game will go on. They claw back a bit of XP difference, and cooldowns are still up for the side of EPG. So there is some time now where if you are Pepe, you can look to get onto this bottom temple, but Dylan are still just getting the camp right now. And Shelvin is Falstad. You're able to push up this, and this is going up onto the keep already, so much map pressure being put on by EPG at the moment.
Oh, and this is the mosh pit coming in straight away as well. Dino goes down as well with that mosh pit. Wit is still in there, but does have the angelic elements to be able to defend himself, but I don't think he's going to be able to. He's sort of positioning around for X-Ray to be able to get him, but X-Ray comes in with a big punish, and Tassar immediately has the pop Archon. Obviously, the blink as well as the portal is able to get out here. They're just going to sort of trade a little bit of health bars, but I don't think anyone's going to go down. But I don't think X-Ray, oh, he does have another jump. Blaze is looking for the flank. They have a lot of CC that they're able to do, and that's a big stun. Ultralisk saying no, it's time to stop. And everybody is put in their place as they now have to focus down this bottom fort. But this means that X-Ray and Wit are going to have to go back to the Hall of Storms, and it leads an opportunity for pepeMLADY to pick up the temple, get a bit of structure damage themselves. But all of this time, Chelvin has been soaking waves, pushing out top. Means that Gorrider could potentially go down to a quick, swift Dino death.
And yeah, as you mentioned, now Zula 4v5 managed to get out 3v5 in the end. Shelvin just having a bit of fun on Falstad. He's got Boomerang now, so as the wave clears, oh, dealers, you are not going to last long. Gets the nano boost off to give EDC some mana, I suppose, but that's about all you're going to be able to do without one. Level 13 now for the side of EPG. Going to get some more shots as... No, they're not going to do the boss yet. They're not quite that ambitious, but
yeah,
very good for them in the moment.
It's very tempting to do boss, but this is not auto-attack Falstad build. It has got the wingman, so it's not quite as sort of consistent damage on boss that you have. Obviously, you've got the Karazim, which helps out a lot, but the rest of your damage is mostly damage on heroes with Medivh and Imperius. So they are looking for these mini ganks and big pressure plays from their team rather than these boss pushes. I think their
We
dream.
will see what happens now, though, if you're the side of Pepper, because you know you're behind. You have to look for a way back in. Now looking for X-Ray, but it's Medivh. Only just gets himself on out of there. Sisbus not in position to find the insurer. So hard to do anything. If you're Pepper, you're absolutely tilted out of your mind. In the meantime, Dino again, they're pushing up the sidelines, they're finding the macro advantages, putting pressure on Pepe to do exactly what they want, and it's working very nicely for them so far.
Yeah, obviously we've had a lot of these little trades, and they're trying to push out top lane as much as they can, but Blaze is always rotating there. They've got a tiny bit of damage on those sort of keep outer walls. Dino looking to try and escape, has to use Seeker in the Dark on a wall to be able to blink out of there. The thing is, the rest of EPG's frozen damage on structures has not really happened now since the initial camp push at the top. They're just waiting for the objective, but they are now looking at that boss coffee.
And Dino also having a little bit of fun, just trying to draw as much attention as they can while the boss is being started, but Pepper having none of it. They're down here and trying to fight, but we talked about before, there's so much boss control if you're EPG. You have Gust, you have Leyline, one of which is normally enough to just deny any sort of attempt, but now the boss is going on to Whip, but the force as well was there in time. Now Dino onto the point, doing what he can, but Leyline seal is huge, but they do get out of it, but the Gust is here! The Gust is here, they do get back on the point though, do the side of Pepe, and they might have done it! They get the boss, they're getting kills, and they might have had enough of this nonsense.
Yep, the health bars on the side of EPG Frozen are just not enough, and X-Ray does get stunned as well, unable to escape. This is the opportunity that pepeMLADY have been looking for. Yet it was quite a large sort of sustained fight with a lot of spread damage. Karazim is unable to deal with that in those situations. Wit was unfortunate getting booped into the boss stun. Well, very well played, obviously, of course, from Boss. And now we've got this boss pushing down the bot lane as a double temple phase, which they might be able to pick something up. But Dino and Ultralisk saying, you know, we don't need the rest of our team. We're a two-man team. We're just going to harass Blaze as much as possible.
Many jumps does this Mythic in Zeratul. Actively like used by Anna to keep the Blaze alive, but so hard to lock down is Dino. Just wait until level 16 when he actually gets the damage to back this up. But when now it is bot lane getting pushed in by the boss, they are going to get the wall down there. And now the top temple is in control of Pepe. See if they're able to jam that for full duration. Looks like they're going to be able to do that just fine though.
Yeah, this has really evened up the game now. Well, in fact, it's swung it the completely other way. pepeMLADY are now ahead instructions. That's all that matters on Sky Temple. Obviously, the boss was only recently taken, so we've got 3 minutes 38 still on that boss. The teams are going to be positioning around each other. We're at level 16. We're going to get more and more into that danger level of Zeratul one-shot blow-up almost on the backline. Anna is going to be in incredible danger.
Does actually opt for the Void Slash, does Dino, looking to get a little bit more control of the team fights rather than looking for the solo picks that you normally see from Knights of Belville. But now, they're to try and set something up, but just going to get out fine are Wit and Shelvin. And now it's X-Ray pretending to be a global, just clearing out the top wave in the meantime of all this.
Yep, obviously Karazim well known for its wave clear, or not rather, but is able to deal with camps quite well. You know, the additional damage is still nothing to laugh about. Dino trying to do a little cheeky bag, but it's scouted by Boss. He's going to be in a little bit of danger. There is obviously the portals, as Ultralisk is more than capable to do, but it does mean that people are in a little bit of danger, as this portal is now on cooldown.
Now, possibly going to have Dino, he hasn't maxed yet, he's going to Mega Zone on the bottom lane. He's going to pick up the double region globes here and get some lifesteal from the Mending Strikes he took level 13. So he will be able to sustain himself back up, but for the time being, kind of out of the action. Looking to pick up the bot for the possibly, but Pepe trying to force him back by making a play up on the top here with Sylvanas.
Yeah, this is a big play. They're looking to try and scout out Dyla, it looks like. There comes the ley line, see if they go straight onto Dyla. He is going to go dead instantly. We see the Twilight Archon, or the Archon pop straight away. We see the Mosh Pit come out, but the Gus is there to stop it straight away. Gore Rider blinking over to the other side of the team fight, but also is going to be taken out by X-Ray. No, he gets into the bunker. He's going to be in that bunker, but I'm sure he's going to get blown up straight away. The Blaze comes with the big stun. X-Ray goes down. Wit now trying to poke away. Gore Rider does go down in the end. Ultralisk still on the chase. Najir in danger here. They blinking through the portals. Dino's scouting out, trying to get there. Oh, the Tassadar takes him out, but Tassadar does go down in the end. That is a 4 for 2 here in that team fight. Temple's now coming up in 10 seconds. Can EPG Frozen use this to equalize the structure pressure once again?
They absolutely can. They have so many numbers up, it's very risky for ETC to be out doing too much once those members return, Shelvin flying into the mid lane. And it looks like that when it's not a 6v5, when you don't have the boss getting the massive knock onto Wit, it's still difficult for the side of Pepper to find their favorite. Trying to force something, which meant they were in position for the massive ley line from Medivh. Now says boss, he didn't get the memo about it being risky to stay out there, and he's going to be staggering his death timer, so
Yep, very well
we'll see
done
what ends
here
up
from
happening.
EPG Frozen to punish that there and really shut down the ETC. A staggered death timer, as you said, will just give both of the temples over to the side of EPG Frozen. I'm not sure if they'll get a
A
keep
lot
with
of
the
damage here at the top. I'm not sure if he's able to do this on his own, as taking a lot of damage, but he's not staying on the point to Wit, buddy. You're going to need a little help, but Ultras comes up to finish the job, but now it's level 20s, and it's Dino. You know what he's taking. He doesn't care for your stupid healing. He wants Twilight Falls for even more spells from the Zelda, because that's exactly what he needs, more damage.
And wind tunnel as well, which means that anyone who gets blown by that is just sort of going to be locked in place.
There's no boss steals this time.
No, not at all. We do see the Blaze being forced to pop bunker at the moment. Shelvin and X-Ray and Dino all saying, you know what, we're going to do this really aggressive. We've got level 20. We know what we're doing here. We do see the transition from Karazim, so they really think that they want to blow up these front lines.
They can start the boss, the bunker's gone with a 1-tool. They did have a remaining that would let them pull off a Miracle Steal. Level 20s are now picking up by the blue team, but it doesn't really matter. You're not going to be able to get the boss against Medivh cheats in the wind tunnel, surely. Wit now picking up the front liners. There's the wind tunnel. Savalas gets onto the point, not being blown away by the wind tunnel, actually. The ley line comes out, but doesn't get everyone. Dylan now standing on the point. There will be the boss steal, actually, despite all odds. A huge win for Pepe, as now Wit making a run for it, and will get out with the portal.
Beautifully played by pepeMLADY.
Individual play by Glorider to get onto the point with a horsing wave, timing it so nicely. The Winter not really able to push her out as much as I think Shelvin was hoping for, so able to find the boss deal in the end. Now Dino is furious, he wants to go in, find some spells, but will not fully commit just yet. Now Sylvanas is pushing with a boss onto the fort. There's the
boss looking at the mosh pit. He does have
two.
death mosh as well, so if he goes down, he goes down. But no, he's able to sustain through that. There's no kills so far, but Wit goes in with a big thing, and that is the Sylvanas down. That is the value of the Flash of Anger. People, X-Ray going down as well. Ultralisk being pressured out by us as a boss. Wit now falling onto 2 HP. He is dead. This could be the first game that pepeMLADY takes. Zeratul also down in the backline. It is down to Shelvin alone, as well as Ultralisk trying to poke away at Zyla, but I think the boss on this is going down. This is obviously a Twilight Archon. I mean, usually Twilight Archon means game, and I think this is going to be it. Game number 3 goes over to pepeMLADY.
It turns out that to beat EPG, you need to steal the boss from Falstad and Medivh twice. But they were able to, and that's what matters in the end. Now, 1 and 2 is the current standings. We see Pepe trying to claw back this series, and honestly, it might all be uphill for me. Like, how many more miracles do you have, though? Because 2 boss deals against this team comp seems quite impossible if you were to tell me that before we started.
Yeah, I mean, pepeMLADY coming into this game 3 looking pretty strong. Yeah, really. On this side of EPG Frozen, we just saw so many comfort picks and so many heroes people are known for. But it just did not fit the map. I felt like they did not play the map the way they should have. I personally feel like EPG Frozen just wanted to bring us a good show, but not really try to win in this game. Just played the Zeratul, the Zeratul for the flashy plays, the Karazim for the flashy plays. Go and get these dives in, but then also like the Blaze coming in with the bunker, making sure keeping Anna alive a few times really did work out for pepeMLADY, and this will leave EPG Frozen now with the choice between map pick or the first pick.
Well, I hope they take the map pick, of course, but even though they were definitely going for the Blemish over Zeratul, definitely not what you would expect to see, just one of Dino's favorite picks, but I still think that you would expect to win this game. There's no way that you would say, all right, we're going to lose the boss twice with this much boss control, but happened to do thanks to some excellent individual plays by the side of Pepe, who will bring us to, as he said, game number 4, which is coming up soon. So
We already
now it
have the
is
answer
actually
from
first
EPG
pick.
Frozen. They're going to choose first pick. So the map still left open will be Ultra Pass, Dragonshire, and Infernal Shrines.
And you have to wonder how much they've realized why they're getting their draft leads. It's partially because of hero pool, but also because you have the flex of the last pick. But now it is the control going over to Pepe as they are going to bring us to Infernal Shrines, where you'd hope we're not going to see any sort of cheesy nonsense like Samurai or the like. So possibly one of the most fair maps that they have available to them.
Yeah, pepeMLADY deciding a Heroes Launch series is not a Heroes Launch series without Infernal Shrines and bringing us there with their first choice of map, except for first for the very first map, of course. Infernal
And
Shrine.
now that they do have control of the map picks, they're bringing us again to the more skirmishy maps. They chose Beery at first, and they are now bringing us to Infernal Shrines, a map where you tend to have these 5-on-5 team fights. We'll see what they are able to get done on the side of Pepe. Do they have a few more miracles they can pull out of the hat to try and make the reverse sweep happen? I certainly hope so. I want to go to Game 5 in our Grand Finals.
Game 5 in the Grand Finals would be an amazing series in the end, but I kind of believe that EPG Frozen will try to close out the series as fast as possible for them.
We will see what happens though. There could be, of course, this is Infernal Shrines and it is EPG Frozen. We can see a cheeky Kerrigan pick come up if they feel like it. So get rid of one nonsense pick that they can take, and you're going to be left with another that you have to deal with. So we will see what happens as we are getting into draft number 1 for our Grand Finals very shortly.
A game number 4 in this best of 5 series, so maybe the last map, as we have EPG Frozen to the right side with the first pick, now 2-1 ahead in the series so far. pepeMLADY is to the left now with second pick, but they come from the winners bracket.
And now it is the first time that we see the side of EPG in the series with a first pick. So they are going to be changing up the bans as ETC now taking off the table. Trace is still banned away. So now that they have the first pick, will Cassia be let through? Urel's still getting banned away. So what are you ban here? Are you going to ban Cassia? Are you going to leave open Imperius and Medivh and Tergan and all these other picks that you know that EPG are just waiting to get their hands on? Or are you going to ban away something a little bit more standard, just strong like Cassia?
I don't know. My mind is screaming Medivh ban just because of Ultralisk, and it's in Infernal Shrine, so it's again quite a good Medivh map coming in. But on the other side, there's so many good heroes still left open. And yeah, here we go. Medivh is going to be the ban from the side of pepeMLADY.
Imperius picks up. The Cassia option goes over to the side of pepeMLADY. And you'd have to imagine they want to pick up Cassia. The question that I have is what they pick. Well, I would like to see ETC. I want to see some very early picks up of a crowd control to help control this Imperius. So Cassia ETC is what I'm hoping to see. We'll see what of course happens. So a few seconds remaining on the pick. Also ETC's banned as I just now looked at.
I mean, it's the Ana again, so it's a very comfort healer for Dyna apparently, as it is the 4th game in a row where they insta-lock Ana when it's possible for them. Now
and Cassia gets through.
Yeah, Rutsu picking up the Xul, denying it from Wit in one way.
And okay, we are going to see Cassia taken now by Dino, so not going to go too crazy and let that one through any further. So Now we have a very strong first 3 picks for EPG, and I'm really confused by the Zul priority here. It doesn't seem to make much sense. This isn't an offlane Imperius. While Zul was, of course, really good against offlane Imperius, that's not what we see here.
And now we have Carry again banned coming up from the side of pepeMLADY. We saw it earlier today as Ultra is played on Infernal Shrines in the very first series to Kerrigan. And she's very strong on the point with the sustain she gets from the shields from hitting those Shrine minions.
And we saw even earlier today from Team Hype, actually, what happens when you pair Imperius with Kerrigan. Turns out it's a lot of burst damage, a lot of crowd control, and it's not really something that you want to be playing against, especially if you're little Orlana. So, perfectly understandable why that one will get banned away. Definitely taken away as well by EPG. And now we're likely going to see, there's some options. You have Garrosh again from Scissorboss, and now Gore Rider going back to the Savants after a very impressive performance in the previous game.
Yeah, Gore Rider really making those plays, keeping the boss in the very last boss fight. Haunting in with a Haunting Wave. Bring it on. And now last 2 picks from EPG Frozen coming out. It's going to be the plays from Joven and the hero I was honestly waiting for a little bit longer already. It's Ultralisk picking up the Maya of this game.
Maya now taken, and talked about this previously. I'm hoping for, at the moment, depends on the final pick is, of course, but Containment is looking very nice at the moment, just trying to give yourself some time to dog people down with the Imperius and Acacia. You have Junkrat, same thing still applies, just throw the Containment Disc in there, take advantage of 4v5 that it makes, and find some picks with your Imperius. Now we again see the unfortunate lack of hard CC for the Imperius with the Junkrat pick. Concussion Mine is very much a delayed crowd control. It takes time for Junkrat to throw that mine out, so Wit has the option to go and do whatever he wants once again.
It's going to be a really tough game again for the sides of pepeMLADY. But we're not allowed to forget they have Xul and Sylvana, so they have really strong macro pressure, as well as the Junkrat, who is very strong in rotations after 13 if you opt into the mine talent there. So to really, it's going to be a really tough game for the side of pepeMLADY because they have to look for those kills with the Garrosh throw into Xul, Root, Sylvanas, and Junkrat Gem, and have to hope that it is enough to get the kill in. As we are loading into this game number 4, I'm going to hand you over back towards Transparent.
Game number 4 here for the Mythic Championships. Could this be the reverse sweep for pepeMLADY? They've got to win this one and the one after this, but on the side here for pepeMLADY on the blue team, we do have Gore Rider on the Sylvana, Sessaboss on the Garrosh, Najir on Junkrat. Zul is played by Raidzu, and Dyla is once again on the Ana that he's been playing consistently.
On the right side, we have EPG Frozen looking to finish the series in a 3-1 match score. We have X-Ray playing Decade, Imperius once again being played by Wit, Ultralisk on the Maya, Shelva playing Blaze, and Dino. He's been freed from offlane duty. He is now playing the Cassia for the first time in the series.
Yep, so we do see Shelvin on the Blaze instead. Sessaboss once again on this Garrosh, not picking the body check talent this time, looking instead for the more standard wall breaker. And he's been playing a fantastic Garrosh all four of these games, but he's getting stunned immensely by the whole team on the side of EPG Frozen. Ultras does get thrown over, and he's going to go down instead. Sessaboss once again living with all this armor, and Dyla doing a fantastic job keeping him alive as the Ana.
Thinking you've caused out Garrosh is the first mistake you make when you play Heroes of the Storm. Very hard to kill the War Chief of the Horde is now looking to get the Cassia, throws him in. Junkrat Trap not activated in time though, so Dino is able to walk it out, but Sessaboss is not letting them get away so easily with their overextensions.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing that Garrosh provides. He's able to threaten any sort of rotation, but we do see a rotation on the top side. Wit has begun in against Raidzu. Shelvin not able to put the damage out enough to be able to kill him. Obviously, that's big commitment there to move your main tank up to the top lane, and Raitsu is going to be able to reap the rewards of having a well-pushed lane and being Zul.
And is the bomb camp picked up by the side of pepeMLADY? Now, Nudge is moving on to the Impalers, so that will be 2 camps to 1, of course, as that is the cost of sending someone up for a gang. But now looking for the invade and thrown over his wit, so he's out of the fight, but so is Nudge, who just dies on Junkrat. Here comes Shelvin rotating down onto Cesabos, who will have another farm shortly, so you gotta just be careful. Wit's found himself Dilla, but doesn't quite have the damage yet. No flash of anger for Imperius.
Yeah, some big sleeps coming out here from Dilla. Once again, sort of the confidence they might have of winning last game. You know, it was a close game, but they were able to clutch that boss play. And here now on Infernal Shrines, they are showing that, you know, they're still made of something. They want this series. They want to win it back. And there's a lot of aggression from both teams once again. They're now picking up both of their siege bruiser camps, the shamans, hoping to get a little bit of additional pressure to get that vision control that you have on the top shrine. Obviously,
we are seeing some adaptation by the talent selections here of EPG. Imperius is not opting into a Q build this time, has instead gone for Burn V Imperial level 1. So going to just try and do what he can to his Gauche, maybe realizing after the first game that percentage damage quite nice against this hero. And we'll be looking to potentially go and burst him down, but of course is a Gauche who has the unstoppable should anything go wrong for him.
Yeah, Cesabos looking for the aggression, looking for the throw perhaps on Shelvin. Shelvin is a big sturdy blaze though, and he has 40% armor, but he's able to get out. Obviously, the unstoppable popped on Rush, but still the pull comes in. He's going to go on, possibly down. He's so low on health. Dino now being booped away, and there's a trade 1-for-1, but you've lost your Garrosh for a Cassia. I mean, Cassia's very essential, but Garrosh is your main tank, so Zul is having to rotate up now, unable to do the double soaking, and will now take that role of frontline for pepeMLADY as they look to secure this this first objective as well, Coffee.
I'm not sure why Zul's here. The trade is so good for the side of Pepe, getting rid of Cassia, and Maya is not really reliable as a solo DPS, so don't think that we had to see the giving up of a soak here by Pepe, but regardless, we do see Imperius. He's not W at 1, so pretty slow wave clear, but he's doing what he can, and now Frozen Punisher goes over to the side of Pepe. We still see the flash of anger, because it's pretty ridiculous at level 7 by Wit, even though he's not gone for the cooldown reduction that you usually pair with it.
Yep, but there will still be an immense amount of damage. Obviously, Dino getting slept after being frozen here, but Wit has gone in. He's gone for the incredible amount of damage, but Cesabos now rooted as well. They may look to try and focus Cesabos. Obviously, with that percent damage, could be something, but he's looking to peel himself, throws away Wit, and the rest is still trying to chase. Ultragus using all the abilities that he has to maybe try and kill him per kill, but they're unable to do so. Now they've had to retreat to defeat the rest of this Frozen Punisher's HP pool.
But Riser, in the meantime, this is the 4v5. He's been pushing bot lane, and he gets himself another wall, so very nice to remember. He might have stayed a little too long, pulled in by Ultrask. Imperius dies up in top lane, in the meantime caught out on the rotation. Decker came falling as well, so
yeah, nice play here from pepeMLADY.
Pepe doing a lot, and Riser actually gets out to safety, so very nice use of the Punisher by them in the end, catching the members out on rotation and able to get the split push value. Sylvanas Gore Rider with the passive able to take down the top fort, so very nicely for Pepe, who really want to force the issue and bring us to game 5.
Yeah, and that's really a wake-up play when you sort of get caught out on a rotation like that, because perhaps you're a little bit in autopilot or something. You've you've cleared out the Punisher, time to rotate to mid, and pepeMLADY were like, no, we're going to be in this bush, we're going to completely destroy whoever comes through it. And Wit and Decker Kane got caught out by it. Very well done from pepeMLADY. We're now heading into level 10s for them, so they will be able to perhaps invade this siege camp as well.
And yeah, that one is going over to them. You have to imagine the momentum, the mental warfare is so good for Pepe at the moment. They're pulling themselves back. EPG, everything they're trying to throw at them isn't working at the moment, even though it was before. Looks like they've found themselves. The response have the side of EPG.
Yep, they're now positioning around. They're looking to get this bottom fort as well. They have level 10. Obviously, Sylvanas is in the middle lane trying to buff up those camps. That's a big spear hit from Wit. But Cesspos looks like he's going to be able to get out. Ultralisk trying to get some sort of resets going. But, I mean, they haven't yet got level 10. It'll be interesting to see what Myef picks up. I imagine it's going to be the case. But Gorrider gets speared by Wit, and there's a lot of damage coming out. Even the Silence Wailing Arrow is not able to save him.
Disc?
It is indeed Containment Disc. Yeah, but so they're looking to get this pick off on the Ana. Wit maybe coming in for the spear, but having been slowed, is unable to. But the roots, no, the roots don't hit, but the stun is enough, and Dyla is going to go down as well. X-Ray going in with Big Sleep onto the Junkrat as well as the Zul. Very nicely done. Nashir is also going down. This is the big turnaround that EPG Frozen were looking for. They've got these pick-offs one after another that they needed. 3 heroes in a row.
Pick after pick after pick. As soon as level 10 comes in, they have the tools that they need. Containment Disc, for Sleep, for Valkyrie. They have everything they need in order to start to turn this game around, and they are making a good effort so far. 3 picks as soon as they reach level 10. Now, Gorrider is working on the top cap. Zul's pushing top lane, and there's no one there to match either from the side of EPG. Now, it is 3 members moving on to the Bruiser camp. But a little bit of time now, if you are Pepe, to try and get some position here.
Yeah, they've obviously got still a little bit of an XP advantage, and also they've got that top 4 already down, which has 1 catapult pushing away a little bit. But so EPG Frozen have to do something. Shelvin hasn't been pushed in; he's been slept. He still has the bunker available. He has been tortured, and he's in a little bit of danger, and he's just going to possibly go down. But Gorrider is on 50% SP as well. Shelvin has no HP coming out of there, but he does have 40% armor.
Shelvin!
And X-Ray is able to keep him alive. Wit tries to get the spear onto the crystallized target. Blown away by the Junkrat mines. A little bit of a disengage. That's a 1 for nothing here for the side of EPG Frozen.
Oh, Shelvin. Showing us all why Bunker is such a wonderful ability. Manages to sit in there, gets himself some healing potions for when he gets out, and manages to walk out Spital Lords. Now going in 45. Other side of Pepe, looking for X-Ray, but not able to find it. Wit is out of mana, so no more spears from you, my friend. You are going down. It will be traded though. Zul also going down to the Cassia, so it's still a 3v4 at the moment, but low mana pools for the red team, and Gorrider is on the way. They're trying to do what they can. They are going to get a fight once Gorrider's here. Goes for the Silencing Arrow, going in onto X-Ray, has so much damage at level 13 does to Savannah's going to find a kill. Now it is the punch to go over to red team, but they're finding more kills. They've got Maiev, they've got Cassia, and they've managed to kill the members that would be pushing with this protect now. Now, you gotta be careful, buddy. You don't want to be taking that much damage, but very nice defense by the side of Pepe.
Yeah, that was absolutely the fight that Gorrider wanted. Sylvanas is one of those heroes that really can pop off, and when there's a load of heroes on low HP, there's not much mana to be able to do anything about you. You're happy to just blink around, throw some arrows at you, and clean up the kills, which is exactly what Gorrider did. Just going to put the momentum back in the hands pepeMLADY. Well, we're seeing a bit of a spear coming in here on the mid lane. Raizu going down to Wit perhaps, but he's already used his spear. Oh, beautiful sleep by Dyla. Dyla cannot miss these sleeps. Very nicely done. But Wit once again with a spear on Cesspos. Cesspos is almost consistently around 50% HP, able to escape the pull from Ultralisk, but the big sleep from X-Ray coming in, and that is Zul going down indeed. Mana boosted Gorrider soon put in jail by Ultralisk.
Clean disengage with the help of the Containment Disc strikes once again. Now, why we didn't use a mid lane, I'm a little bit surprised to get the Zul pick, but regardless, they make the 45 work because, well, Shelvin was in top lane pushing with the Bruiser camp, getting damage onto that fort. Now Nudge is here to try and defend it, but the damage has already been dealt both to the fort and the XP. Now Shelvin making his way to mid lane to try and defend this one, as the game is going to go. You'd imagine pretty smoothly to level 16, but never mind that plan, as Cesspos face checks the Imperius, who has burned the Imperius, taking so much damage. Not going to fall though, so all will be fine in the end, but not if your Gorrider is now into the prison he goes, but Junkrat here to make some space for him. So we're probably going into the next objective, level 16 advantage for the side of Pepe.
Yeah, Cesspos able to be healthy enough to be able to provide a fear factor to Wit not wanting to spear the contained target. Now, as you say, 16s will be coming in soon. This has been really good play from both teams right now. It's even Stevens in the term of the kills, but Shelvin looks like he might be getting thrown, but he now has the new habits, being able to pop the unstoppable. Really nicely done here from EPG Frozen.
Bit 4 will get sieged down and taken out Envy, and Contaminus not quite catching Cerebus, but I don't think you want that fight anyway. Again, we're pinging the talent tier difference because we're good storming players. We're not going to be taking fights when we're down talent tiers on the side of EPG.
Ultralisk is using the fantastic new buff of Containment Disc of lowering the cooldown down to 40 seconds. So it's just an anytime ability option. That's, 40 seconds is one of those things that you can just pop at any time. It really doesn't matter. And trying to utilize it at any moment is really well done from him.
And as the game goes on, as the death timers get longer, the Containment Disc pickoffs get just so much more impactful because you got to have your next disc up before the last guy's even returned. Able to get so much if you can keep landing them onto people who are out of position.
And we do see the Vengeful Knives as well from Maiev, so they really want to get this Garrosh down. That percent damage as well, static electros do from the Cassia instead of percent damage, which some people do take. But we see a little bit of fight here. Shelvin does get thrown over. The Containment this down on Garrosh. Are they going to be able to pick off the Zul in this time? And it looks like they are. He goes down. Dino now on a little bit of load. The nano boosted Gore Rider able to pick him off. Shelvin, also Ultralisk now able to get into the bunker, but Gore Rider trying his best to do something, but Ultralisk is indeed going to die.
Gore Rider is unleashed, and Sylvanas, when there's no one to stop her, can do so much damage, and we saw that from Gore Rider. Active Relay Mana to enable him to get in there and able to unload arrow after arrow with the help of Windrunner. So much mobility as well, and Gore Rider just really putting on a click, showing why he plays for Sylvanas.
Yeah, of course they've picked up Will of the Forsaken now on level 16, which doesn't mean that they're able to make themselves unstoppable for 3 seconds every 60 seconds. So, yeah.
No pesky Imperius coming out here anymore against that one.
No, indeed. And they're also going to be able to escape any sort of Maiev pull they want. Now they've got this Arcane Punisher pushing down this mid lane. They're most likely going to be able to get a keep here if they pressure it right. Don't you think, Coffee?
2 members up in the top lane, so they are going to be walking up somewhat uncontested. Everyone has now made it here, but Shelvin's on the flank here, and I'm not sure what he's looking for because there's no way you're fighting this if you're EPG. But
especially now he's been scouted by the Arcane Punisher's little wispy wisps.
Here he goes. He wants this. As the Containment Ghost goes down, the Punisher's still active, but not for long. And in goes Ultralisk, pulling 2, and the Valkyrie onto the Sylvanas, but thrown up by Gore Rider. Sleep by X-Ray. Wit misses. Oh, he does actually find the spear in the end, but Gore Rider gets out to safety. Now Rises attacker gets taken down by Shelvin with the crossfire. X-Ray walking up his old deck of Kane, trying to do what he can, but you have no heroic stuff, my friend, so not able to do anything there. But it is a successful defense, just barely of the mid keep by the side of EPG.
Yep, that mid keep has 1700 HP, so really not a lot at the moment. I imagine when we get to level 20, Respect the Elderly is going to come in so much. Being able to silence that Sylvanas in these situations is really going to pay off. Cesarboss now with a big throw. Oh no, Ultralisk is going to get caught out, and he is going to go down straight away. Obviously, Waiting Arrow was committed for this. Wit is more than happy to go in. They do only have Cassio as the damage, but Cassio is more than enough. Are they going to be able to get Cesarboss? Oh, the sleep coming out from Dyla once again to be able to shut down the momentum of this engage.
You can't be checking bushes at this point of the game, especially when you're a half-health dealer like Maiev. Now, trying to chase him down, and Cerebos, he lands for the Groundbreaker. Shelvin knocked up by Nudge. Cerebos finds another Groundbreaker. New Harris comes out to delay the throw, and knocked to safety actually by Junkrat, so will be a clean escape, but now it is Gore Rider in the middle. Not actually going to find a keep just yet, but level 20 is around the table. And with the numbers of advantage, should be able to get this mid keep down. Valkyrie onto Junkrat, goes in with the sleep, does X-Ray. Looking for something here at EPG, down a member and with level 20 talent.
The Nano Sylvanas has come out. Wit is falling down low on health. The Junkrat might be able to clean it up. X-Ray now also poisoned incredibly. Junkrat also once again able to use Riptide. Due to that cooldown reduction, is X-Ray going to go down? He's going to have a portable potion for himself, and he does indeed. That's the keep down. But I still think that's a successful defense here for EPG Frozen. They could have lost the game at that point in time.
could have lost the game, but they could have also just given up their mid keep. They're down a member, they're down Storm Towns. It's one of the worst times you could look to take a fight, but they do manage to get a decent outcome, I suppose you could say, not losing the game, trying to find the time for them to reach their own level 20s, where Imperius truly comes online with the unremovable marks. Burn the Impure is so stupidly good at this point. 7.5% of your max health every auto effectively for the rest of the game. Gaush is not going to be tanky one bit.
Yep, these two teams are going to be facing off with level 20 talents very shortly. There is going to be a shrine advantage for pepeMLADY most likely. Still a little bit of a way to get to level 20 for EPG Frozen. We see them positioning themselves, getting as many camps as they can. Obviously, they've denied camps on the side of EPG Frozen. pepeMLADY now, yep, starting the shrine.
Two
EPG
more
Frozen
ways.
looking to position.
You need to be catching mid lane, or at least get the bot lane if you're the side of EPG to reach for level 20. They will do it now, so there will be one more fight on even terms before this game is done. Looking, as he said, for respect for the elderly, trying to shut down what Gorrider can do on the Sylvanas.
Yep, Imperial's prisoning Knight from the Cassio as well, so looking to get even more silences out as these pulls have been incredible, but not able to pull Cesarboss this time. Out comes the Ancient's Blessings, here comes the big silence, but the silence from
no.
Really incredible stuff here to interrupt X-Ray's stuff, and Gorrider's chasing him down, but he's going to get speared, but no, the Unstoppable comes out. Shelvin also able to survive. He's traded in heroics for heroics here. They still have the respect for the elderly, as that did get interrupted by the Wailing Arrow, but this is another Mortar Punisher coming down on the bottom lane here. There is still a wall available, but they do need to tidy up mid lane minions.
And Dariel's Visage, if you play Diablo 2, you know how strong of an item this is, and it's so good at heroes as well. X-Ray got tapped by the Poison Nova, and was taking a dot for his entire health bar. A pretty ridiculous ability, if I may say so, and now moving in with another Punisher, rather, of the side of Pepe. Now, it is the Containment has gone to the Gauche, and he will be on something out of it, but this is a 2/3 health Punisher. Moving on to the call, I think this might just be the game going for Pepe. Taunt now onto Shelvin, who survived for a time being, and Gorrider is down! Gorrider is down, and now Zul and Gauche are also gone. They're turning it around on the core defense, actually have the side of EPG. They are not going to go to game 5 just yet, at least.
Yep, X-Ray with an expert stay a while and listen, which was enabled Ultralisk to pop off on that Maiev. Beautiful teamwork here from EPG Frozen. Very nicely done. An exciting defense here. What more could we want here in this Mythic Championship Grand Final? Oh, both teams now looking to pick up some camps. pepeMLADY just unsure quite what to do. It's only an Anna and a Junkrat. They're not exactly the most sturdy people to go up against the 5-man force of EPG Frozen.
Well, if you're Pepe, I think it comes to a win, because despite holding onto a game, it's still a disastrous position for EPG. They're down all 3 of their keeps, so there's no global, there's no false stat to go and take care of them, so Pepe, they can look to play the map, look to get advantages in these minion waves, and see what they are able to do in this next Punisher rather, which is what we're likely going to be going to at this point.
As you said, you know, they're going to have to be careful of these minion waves that are slowly pushing out in each lane. They're able to pick up 2 forts.
But it's already starting to push in.
Yeah, they were fortunate enough to have a camp to delay the next wave, but that's been quickly cleaned up as well. They're trying to open up mid as well, just gaining every little bit of macro pressure they can to make sure they've got these waves pushed out.
And this is going to be solid for the rest of the game. There's going to be constant call pressure by the minions. Now, I think it's unlikely that we will see a backdoor attempt by Pepe, but they're always threatening to do so, so you do need to respect it if you are the side of EPG.
Yeah, I think we're going to see another big team fight, and it could go either way. Gorrider has been so good on the Sylvanas, and when he gets that nano boost, but Shelvin is in a bit of a trouble here. He pops the Unstoppable. Wit now has to pop in to be able to defend himself. Oh, but the pull from Dino as well, just trying every little bit maybe to just try and find that pick off, try and find that play. And now this Bruiser Camp looks like it's going to be the point of contention. pepeMLADY coming in to maybe try and invade here, but this is a nice place for X-Ray to be able to get a big sleep as well as Cesspos. But Raizu is looking for the big flag. He's got the Poison Nova as well. Raizu is going to be able to get this off, and this is going to put down a lot of health bars. Is X-Ray going to be able to put this off?
Overall healing is ridiculous, as the Poison Nova is coming in, giving him so much survivability. Right on the flank gonna be just fine. The Poison Nova is just burning everyone from the side of EPG, and he will be fully back. Now, one other thing that is worth pointing out is Imperius does not have the infinite mark resets. He has the Imperius, full of spell armor, fully unstoppable to try and have a more of a frontline presence, but he is not having the damage that might have expected him to do so in these late game fights. But for the time being, it is Pepe. They have the sideline threats again, minus clean bottom and whatnot, but it is cooldowns for 50 seconds on Poison Nova and Wailing Arrow.
Yeah, we did indeed see all heroics popped, and the blue team are looking like they're going to come for a big flank. Maeva's not there available. Shelva comes in with a big stun. Wick comes in with a big arrow, and that's a big silence from Dino. I think this might be the biggest team fight I've ever seen. Nashua goes down as well. Like a 4-man wipe, and Dilo is left alone. This is fantastic stuff from EPG Frozen. That was a beautiful stun here from Shelvin on the Blaze.
I don't know how they meshed up, but they're just winning these level 20 fights, and now they aren't waiting for the Protector, for a Punisher. Gonna get it right someday. They want to end the game right now. Guess we don't have any more chances to say Punisher.
No,
As now going into the containment disc, Gazana didn't think she'd be able to stop them anyway, but just to make doubly sure, Ultra's closer into prison and looking to get themselves the Mythic Championship Season 12 title. The defending champions look to have got it again. EPG Frozen are looking to finish the game very slowly because of the heroes they have, but there's nothing Ana can do about it anyway, as it will be GG's 3-1 win to EPG Frozen.
Beautiful stuff. I'll pass you over to Samu now, and there'll be a short interview later, I'm sure.
Come back here. EPG Frozen looking strong, looking grim though in the early game, but in the end, stare one, listen, and respect the elderly, being able to clutch it out for them, winning them 2 big team fights. They lost all their keeps, but the game is over when the core is at 0%, and they know that. They kept on fighting, and respect the elderly won them the game in the end.
Absolutely, so much value on shutting down Gorvada, who had until that point been having an absolute field day on Savants, able to find so much value coming in from the sides, bursting down the backline with the help of Azul Poison Over. But after level 20 of Respect the Elderly, he was shown his place, not able to do so. And with some miraculous crowd control from the side of Shelvin and co, they were able to win 2 massive team fights in clear fashion. And with that, they were able to win themselves the Season 12 Mythic Championship. Congratulations to them as they do so.
Yes, and this also means we are going to go for an interview with them, as we are about. But yeah, having a short relook at this series and at this day so far, we have pepeMLADY winning the winners bracket final, coming into the grand final from there, having the advantage with the map choice and the first pick. But they go down, being 2 maps down. They tried to go and turn this series around, but after losing 1 map, EPG Frozen still managed to close out the series in their fashion. Yes. We're waiting one more moment. Any more words from you, Coffee, before we jump into this interview?
No, I think we covered everything very well done by EPG to turn around what looks like a bit of disaster. It very nearly went to Game 5, but able to recover from the very brink of defeat by them. Very well earned for the 3-1 victory in the end.
Right.
Basically, like, they're on nerves and they want to finish the game. Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello, everybody, congratulations first of all towards you, EPG Frozen, for winning the Mythic Championship.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We saw throughout the entire series that you guys were pulling out your comfort picks. We saw quite often Wits playing Imperius, Ultras playing the Medivh. You got so many of your favorite heroes. Was your plan just to get what you enjoyed to play in these grand finals?
I mean, I wouldn't really like to reveal my draft plan, but obviously we draft around the meta picks, and we can play almost. Yeah, I mean, we are so flexible that we can play every hero, so we try to draft around the meta comp basically.
Yeah, in the group stage and prior to that, we definitely drafted around just playing fun heroes. But in the grand finals, then and playoffs today, I think we stepped it up with the more serious drafts that we usually play.
Serious draft the win in the end, and this also means we're here with the interview, and of course we have again a special guest coming in. It's Dr. Patman, the launch master himself, coming here.
Good evening, and my goodness, what a game that was. I would like to personally congratulate you, EPG, on an absolutely incredible experience. I hope you had a good time. I know these things can be quite the ordeal, quite the long tournament format that we take here in Heroes Lounge, but I hope you enjoyed it, and a huge congratulations to you in winning the highest tournament that Heroes Lounge has to offer. And with that, you also receive the highest level of prize that Heroes Lounge has to offer in the form of, you guessed it, it's the highest quality plastic that Heroes Lounge money can buy. That is right. I mean, I don't know if any of you already have one.
I think most of us do, right?
Yeah.
If you want another one, then you're more than welcome to have more of the highest quality plastic. I mean, really, can you have enough? Can
You
you?
can make a nice little collection of them, I suppose.
No, but it's always great to see a top level team doing well consistently. So if you would like it, please do send me your details, and a huge congratulations to you. But of course, this wouldn't mean anything without, of course, the other side, which made this series so great. So to the opponents, pepeMLADY, hugely well played to them as well. It's so disheartening, I'm sure, to go this far in a tournament like this over so much time, just to fall short at the last hurdle, but they gave on a really good show. Trying to bring it back, but not quite. And with that, that's everything that I have to say. Huge congratulations to you again. And of course, with this, it's the end for our EU side of things. And of course, with that, a huge thanks to everybody that makes these playoffs possible. It's an incredibly stressful time for all of our volunteers behind the scenes as well. And I love watching these things. It is so incredible for me to be able to have Amateur Games cast like this, and I certainly hope you enjoyed it at the very least. So a huge thanks to everyone for keeping involved. But with that, I'll shut up for a moment, and I'll let you guys enjoy your victory and enjoy your winners interview.
Thank you, Cosmic.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cosmic, for tuning in. I mean, right before the finals, I talked a little bit with Coffee about the grand finals, and Coffee was sure pepeMLADY will bring us a good show and will even close out the series. What are your thoughts about this show, Coffee?
Sorry, you did cut off at the end a bit.
What do you guys think about pepeMLADY? I mean, they beat you in the group stage. So
Maybe they would have today if they had Volkio. He's the big man of pepeMLADY.
He's our kryptonite.
Yeah.
I think pepeMLADY is currently the third best team in EU, and pretty consistent at that level. Because yeah, and it's always fun to play them. It's always like good matches. They have a little bit of a different playstyle, actually quite a lot of a different playstyle than the usual top teams. But yeah, I think like the series were pretty close. I think Sky Temple, we should have closed it. That was definitely our bad more than, yeah, it was more our fuck up than like towards them. But the last game, that was definitely super, like very well played. Besides the mistake at the end of pepeMLADY.
pepeMLADY definitely showing good games. We talked a little bit about it, but the Medivh and the Tracer bans came in all today against you. What are your thoughts about it?
If I think if they don't ban Tracer Medivh, I mean, Tracer Medivh is kind of so strong, and we are pretty comfortable playing it. It's like top tier meta, so you gotta pick your poison, right? Like the first bans matter a lot. So there are a lot of bans that you can decide from. So, but your opponent is gonna get up, or your opponent is gonna end up picking some good OP heroes, and yeah, it's kind of unlucky that the trace is always banned out, because I feel like that's the easiest way of of just winning it. But yeah, I think these bans are kind of pretty standard.
All right. I mean, Dino, do you agree on this? Tracer being the easiest way to win?
Definitely. She's also the most fun to win with. She's just too damn strong. Wins every 1v1. And she's the most best looking hero.
Whoa.
That's the important part, of course.
Right.
Now,
But to
there
get
was
away.
one-
Sure,
you-
go
you
ahead.
There you go.
But to also get away a little bit, not only looking away from today a little bit, there's also next season coming in. And I already saw you have a pretty interesting team forming up for that. What are your thoughts onto your team for next season?
Yeah.
Well, obviously we have a full German roster. I kind of wanted to have like a full German team for once, and so we asked Hazops if he wanted to play, and he said yes.
With that in mind, I did want to bring attention to something you said earlier, where you consider Pepe to be the third best team in EU. Now, you've just beaten them, so where would you guys place yourselves at the moment?
In between 1 and 2, same as was washed up. I think we it's pretty obvious that the ones watching competitive, like, we currently end up versus washed up in the finals multiple times, and we managed to defeat them as well. So it's kind of a back and forth between, like, in between weeks, who's gonna go for the top spot and who's gonna go for the second spot. But
Yeah, we're gonna find out who's best as Panda Cup in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. I mean, it has been like that for like the past month, right? Like the Method Mayhem finals were us versus washed up 3-2. So let's see how the Panda Cup is going to go.
Yeah, Panda Cup is also be a very interesting thing to come up in the near future. Right, we currently have a little viewer poll running who they think was the MVP today of you guys. What do you guys think yourself?
Chalvin.
I agree, Calvin.
I only had 2 deaths the entire final. I did alright.
Big.
Well, that was a pretty definitive answer from you guys on that question. Looks like the polling is kind of split at the moment. We'll have to see what happens when Stream Delay catches up, of course.
A lot on the chat are betting on Ultralisk actually, which is quite interesting to come in.
Come on, guys. I think I ran it down pretty well on game 1.
You covered them up with the big schlongs.
No, game
Oh, was
one
it
was where I played Mythic.
I think it's easier to find out who was top inter than as MVP.
Anyways, yeah, it looks. Oh, X-Ray is catching up to Ultralisk though.
Oh my god.
It's still yet to get a vote. It's pretty unfortunate.
We're heading towards the end of the interview. Thank you all for joining us. Any shoutouts from your side?
Shout out to Chelvin, our back-to-back Mythic Championship Heroes Launch winner.
I'll definitely shout out to G-Hop for coming in till I'm here.
Oh yeah, shout out to Gia for sure. Shout out to everyone who makes it possible, and I would like to say to I would like to call everyone, I think we can make Division 1 a little bit, even more competitive than it is right now. Form your teams, go in it, go try hard, and that is the fun part about HOTS. And, there were some seasons in Heroes Launch Division 1 where there were top teams playing in it, and it were top OD teams back then, if I remember correctly, with SFD Gaming winning some cups in a row. And yeah, it's amazing to meet as many good teams as possible.
Just checked it. The last time no one of you was in, no one of you won the grand finals was season 7. Back in season 8, we managed to win it with Epic SFD. Season 9, it was 42 Esports with Dino. Season 10 was X-Ray wins these every day. And last season, of course, Xenon with most of you.
Season 10 was me and X-Ray, maybe Ultralisk as well.
Wait, what happened in season 7 when none of us won? What the fuck were we doing?
I think I was qualifying for the LAN, pretty sure.
Ah.
Blade was in the winning.
There were some seasons where we actually had troubles playing the finals.
Oh yeah, true.
With that said, thank you for the interview. I wish you all a great day, and we're jumping back into the casters to close out the stream.
All right, thank you guys.
Bye. Here go back to casters 1. We had a great day with the Mythic Championship, ending out all of season 12 of Europe from Heroes Launch. And of course, it's not over yet. Keep in mind for Fun Tournament next Saturday. Tune in. On Sunday after that awards, we have the ARAM tournament as well coming up. And !EU season 12. EU season 13, and it will come towards the sign-up guide. If you did not sign up your team yet, make sure you did. We heard all of EPG Frozen only recommending it. And with those words, Coffee, any last words from you?
I think we've covered just about everything. It's been a very exciting series, and it ended very nicely as well with a back and forth grand final especially in the final game. So, looking to see what season 13 has in store. We've got quite a few of those seasons now, haven't we? Starting to get quite a long way up there. We'll definitely see what we have in store and see if EPG Frozen get their ask, which is more good teams to play against. We'll be hoping that we have more of the higher ranked players registering for the Heroes Lounge.
Yeah, we hope so. So thank you everybody for watching. We're gonna break over to someone else now, and hope you will see you all next season again. Bye.